Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually on time for once. It is go time, baby. And today we have a double elimination tournament, which means it's not quite like Swiss where you're guaranteed 4 games, but you do get a guaranteed 2 chances. So if you lose in the upper bracket, you'll go to a loser's bracket, at which point you're going to be having an opportunity to climb your way through the pits, like Bane, Batman, climbing out, all that good stuff. Should be fun. And let's get this tournament started. So we're going to be switching on over, and I'll show you guys the brackets in just a second. Going to be getting it fired off. It is SFT format and best of 1, so it will be a quicker tournament, I'm guessing. But Total War is Total War. There's always a lot of weird downtime in between games and all that good stuff. So we haven't done a double elimination tournament in a long time, so I figured let's see if it's fun for people. All right, so the brackets are up. And let me show you what this looks like. All right, so we're going to switch on over and go to this. So here's the tournament. It is the Turin double elimination best of 1. So here's the brackets for now. We have Hitman Hippo versus Opal Bear, Charx versus Hlidden, Outer Region versus B6, Hasina versus Krashemsky, Bongo versus Drofgod, and they'll play then the player in the next part of the bracket, but the individuals who lose will go down to the losers bracket, and they'll have a chance to climb back to the grand finals. So it will be somebody from the losers bracket all the way in the grand finals as well, which is very fun. I like this format. I think it's a good time. I think it's a good time indeed. Do you think we have the Slayer a Slayer SCV? I'm not sure what you mean. Do we have dwarves? Because yeah, dwarves are allowed today. The only thing is that gyrocopters, the steam gyros, I have them banned. But aside from that, we do have it in play. All right, so let's see which matchup we want to cast for round 1. So let's do Charx. Hey man, I'll cast your game. Lobby code, please. All right, so just gonna let the goblins know that the tournament has started and we are live. All right, goblins, we are live. Goblins, we're live. Brackets up. Yeah, good to see you guys. Been a lot of fun playing a bunch of different games and having a blast with Age of Mythology. We'll be doing that tomorrow. And the next weekend, I'm going to be doing Faction War. So the big sweaty Total War Faction War is going to be going down the following weekend, which is pretty exciting. So I'll start organizing that very, very soon here. And there we go. All right. So Charx is going to send the lobby code. We have the battle of the Polish players here. Figured I just got back from Poland. So Charx and Hlidden, I believe, are both Polish players. So we'll see how they go. And yeah, Pwn is in round 2. We'll cast the dreaded Pwn dog game when Pwn, when it comes, your game comes up. Wait for me. We'll cast that one. We have to see the Dark Lord in action. And hopefully players remember that it is double elimination, so they don't leave as soon as that goes down. Let me actually do an announcement as well. Remember, it's double elim. All right, very cool. Little Total War Warhammer, and this matchup is going to be what? Let's see what Charx is playing. So Charx is playing, so we have dwarves versus, I think, high elves, if I'm not mistaken. That could be an interesting one. All right, let's do this. Go find that. Join with code. There it is. And all right, let's get in there. And we are ready to spectate. Yes. Yeah, double elimination was something we've done in the past. The only downside is that the tourneys were taking super long, but today's tournament isn't big. It's like I think 16 people playing, so it shouldn't be too egregious, especially since it's best of 1. Probably the most brutal tournament format we did was best of 3 and best of 5, double elim. That took like 8 or 9 hours. That was just pure misery. What does double elim mean? Let me show you real quick. We got a little bit of time while the players get their stuff together. All right, so let's go here and show you what this looks like. So you have the top bracket, okay? This is like your standard tournament bracket here. You can see all the different matchups. Now, the individuals who lose their games here will be relegated to the bottom bracket. So they'll be sent down here, at which point they have an opportunity to climb back up and get to the grand finals. So, normal bracket tournaments, you're simply eliminated when you lose your match, whether it be best of 3, best of 1, best of 5. But in this case, you get a second chance at life on the salvation bracket on the bottom side, which is pretty fun. All right, let's see if his opponent is here. Hopefully he is. Aces is checking here to make sure Hlidden is here before I commit to watching this game. Make sure his opponent actually showed up. And we'll find out. All in due time. Channel your hatred, Bone, we believe. Yeah. Odds are I'll be against Hitman Hippo though, which I do believe I've never beat. Yeah, Hitman Hippo's really, really good. He's a terrifying player for sure. Very, very strong. I believe he won a major tournament not too long ago. The most recent major tournament was won by Catholic Alcoholic. That was the season finals for Total Tavern. Looking here, yeah, so we have the official CA tournaments. Hitman Hippo won the fourth one, the fourth major CA clash. And then the last other big event was won by Catholic Alcoholic, the season 6 grand finals. And then the most recent faction war was won by Pigman. Pigman is a land battle player, so you're not going to see him as much in the Dom stuff. But yeah, he was very, very good. Very good indeed. Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for joining. All right, so we got a grudge match. We got High Elves versus Dwarves. Lydon is a very good dwarf player. Charix is a very dynamic player. He has pretty much been top 16 of the world pretty consistently for every single season of Total Tavern, just about since he's been active. Also, yeah, he's won some big events. Ice Pilgrim, thank you for the $5. Keep on going, Turin. The channel is growing and the future of RTS is bright. Yeah, RTS it's still a niche genre for sure, but it's a solid one, you know. I'm really excited for it's not like a true RTS, but Civ, the new Civ 7 game. I'm excited to get into some multiplayer for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Since this is a Polish match, can you cast the game in Polish? Oh god. Oh man, I don't know enough words for that, but I do want to learn Polish someday. I probably will, which would be a lot of fun. Then my wife and I can have a secret code to speak in the United States. It would be great. I know a couple words, but yeah, casting it in Polish that's actually an interesting goal to set for sure. So for this matchup, Steam Gyros are banned, which is good. Those things are obscenely broken, and the counterplay to them is just like, High Elves can barely counterplay them. I mean, what do? You could bring Tempest and chase them with a bird, but they can like move and shoot, and the birds can't even hit them, so it's pointless. Thankfully, they're banned, so this is going to be more fair. But Dwarves, you know, still have plenty of tools. The Bolt Throwers are still available. Those are very, very strong here. Lydon, I have played against Lydon many times. Lydon really likes to use the Dwarven Hero Core, like usually going for like, you know, triple hero. So it's going to be, you know, some sort of a Dwarf Lord, whether it be Grombrindle or, you know, a Demon Slayer with Gotrek and Felix, or Felix and a Thane or something. It's pretty much the staple of the play that I've seen from Lydon. Charix, on the other hand, is an Elf player, but also a very, very good Skaven player. But today's tournament is SFT format, which means players are locked into one faction. So today he's just going to be on Elves. Gyros are just kind of really unfun to play against and very OP, so I just figure let's ban them and make it a more fun experience for everybody. And they take no skill to use. They're super overpowered. I think it's just not fun to have them in the tournament. So yeah, but they can use the flamethrower gyrocopters because those ones have to sit and shoot. They don't just automatically run around and mow things down. They don't do as much damage also. Oh yeah, dwarves can be a highly competitive faction even without Steam Gyros. Like if your faction is crutched on one unit to be competent, then you know there's something wrong with the faction. Midday tourney, what a glorious day. Yeah, man, it's gonna be good. Ice Pilgrim, thank you again for the donation, man. Greatly appreciate it. Getting today fired off with a vengeance for the faction war Slayer. Oh, I see what you're saying, Ale. Okay. Yeah, so for the faction war, I'd be down to do a Slayer only like sub faction. I think that'd be very fun. They'd be very fun. Yeah, dwarves have plenty of dynamic playstyles if they want. You know, a lot of different things they can do. I mean, there's obviously a very meta playstyle, which is the most effective, but they can do some trickery. They can go heavy artillery. They can do infantry rush. They can do gun and bow line pushes. They can do a lot. Doomseekers are cool in this matchup too. If they can avoid the archers, they annihilate high elf infantry. And it looks like we're going to be loading in right now. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining here today. It has been a glorious beginning as we have a grudge match. All right, so for the dwarves, it is going to be a hero core. We have a Rune Lord, a Thane, and a Rune Smith. I wonder what runes he's going to be bringing. We have the Arwar Doomseekers. So those guys will pound the Elven infantry if left alone. And we do also have a couple Bugman's Rangers to contest the Archer game, and the Grim Delvers, which are really good against dragons. So Grim Delvers, if they just sit back, you know, somebody flies in with the dragon not paying attention, they are going to get just absolutely karate chopped. Why do I call myself Turin? It's my middle name in real life, so I'm not very creative. Yeah, it's that's basically it. Can we see the factions that'll play the tournament? Remind me again after this, Dan, and I will go over every single faction that signed up today. Yeah. All right. And for the Elves, classic White Lines of Crace, top tier unit against Dwarves, right? Armor piercing, very cost effective. On top of that, they have built-in missile resist, which is great against dwarves who have pretty good missile shooting. A couple archers, which I like to keep slayers honest, because archers are really good at mowing down slayers, and a couple rangers against slayers as well. So yeah, pretty decent little build here. Now, what is the caster going to be for Charix here? Charix has an Archmage of high magic, so he does have the Apotheosis and also Soul Quench. Really interesting. So a little bit of healing. I feel like there's much better magical options against dwarves, but Charix is also a much better player than I am, so there's something to be learned here for sure. Soul Quench, I guess, has okay AP. Maybe if you go down the side. Oh, maybe against Slayers it's not bad. Okay, and it also has a little, like, after effect, the Quench thing. Okay, we'll have to keep tabs on that. That's going to be very, very interesting. The Budget Dragon, the Sun Dragon, he tries his best. You know, the Sun Dragon is okay just for cheap breath attacks. That's pretty much what he's there for. You just fly him in there, you get breath attacks on good quality Dwarven units, and you live your best life. Now, for the Dwarves, I always forget that these guys have Vanguard deployment. Check this out. So we have the Brotherhood of Grimnir, the glowing runic dwarves. So cool. But they got their blades out. They're going to be swinging them in circles and pressuring the back point. So the Spec Ops dwarves here. And Grimdelvers have Vanguard deployment too. Man, the dwarves are out Vanguarding the elves here. I like this. Yeah, look at that. So we got Grimdelvers and Brotherhood of Grimnir. Now, the rest of the core army is going to be lined up here. Bugman's Rangers and a basic Miners with Blasting Charges, a couple Dwarf Warriors, and the Hero Core. So Hero Core is going to be Rune Lord with Rune of Wrath and Ruin, Rune of Slowness, the Lockdown Dragons. We have a Thane as well, who's bare bones. And then I think he forgot to deploy his Runesmith, or maybe the Runesmith is going up this way. No, it looks like that was intentional. So there was a Runesmith moving up this way, which is going to be heading up to the north side of the map to try and help on Objective 1. So Dwarves look like they're going for a triple cap style of play where they're going to be pressing all the objectives. So that should be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. Charix is privy to this, I think. Charix is going to be doing some scouting out of the gates. We do see the Archmage of High Magic soaring on over there. Maybe going to be going after the Runesmith? I don't know, or just at least scouting to see if there's any shenanigans. Yeah, Charix is clicking very ferociously over here, looking for any stock units and yeah, seeing what he can find in the pits. All right, so as far as this objective goes, we do see Objective Trace going to be going to the Dwarves here, and Objective Uno is going to be going to the High Elves. They do manage to get some Rangers over there, and the Grimdelvers and the Brother. This is such an expensive Vanguard. Incredibly expensive. I mean, these guys are really pricey. Grimdelvers are over 1,000 gold as well. So we're going to see how these Dwarves do on their own. Dwarves are pretty stalwart. They can definitely hold their own in isolated positions. And we do get a call in here. It is going to be the Long Dongs Slayer Pirates. Huge Dongs of Karak Dive Bar coming out. So the Biker Dwarves have arrived. These units are insanely good. Definitely a staple of Dwarves if you're a little bit newer because of the Dwarf Rum. So anybody near them gets negative 10 melee attack, which is kind of busted. It's crazy good. So even if they... I mean, there are things in the game that do this, but the problem about these guys is they're unbreakable. And even if there's only one model left, it's still going to be applying that debuff. Uh-oh. Soul Quench going down, and it was, okay, it was about to be a side angle, but it looks like, oh, it gets in there and nails those Dwarf Warriors. So that is why Soul Quench is good, ladies and gentlemen. That managed to do a bunch of damage there. You could see taking down half HP on those Dwarves. They were in a very, very awkward position here as the Dwarves did get popped. If they had been facing straight on like this, it wouldn't have been that much damage, but, you know, considering how he was deployed, that was very punishing. All right, Karak Dive Bar is moving out, and do we see the Dwarves coming out of the bushes yet? We got the Runesmith here. These characters, what is he doing over here? Glidden is really in a bit of an awkward position. He does have the Brotherhood of Grimnir, and the Grimdelvers really offset. I think he's trying to avoid the scouting, because Charix knows. Yeah, Charix knows. You can see, look, he's coming into the bushes here and here. He's looking for the goodies, but yeah, I guess Glidden, the sneaky dwarves, man. They're being extra cunning and extra sneaky, very duplicitous, I would say. So, call-ins for Charix. Charix going to be calling it a couple Shadow Warriors. Shadow Warriors are cool. They can definitely melt Slayer units. They'll, you know, not be super effective against the armored and shielded units in general, but against Slayers, they can do some work. So if they want to shoot at the Slayer Pirates, which is my guess, I'm assuming he wants to go after the long-drawn Slayer Pirates. That would be pretty good. A couple Rangers lining up here. Okay, so Charix has scouted the woods, right? So Charix came over here. He scouted the trees. He didn't find any dwarves. So now I think he feels comfortable moving up like this. But the dwarves, ever cunning, are now going to be emerging from their hiding nest. Let's see. Why is he still hiding over here? This could be a big mistake by Glidden. I mean, he is really sitting over there for a long time, and that's a big portion of his army, right? So we see the Slayer Pirates ripping shots into the Rangers. Rangers advance into the pistol fire and do take 20 casualties right there. So now they're going to be charging out, trying to hunt down the old long-drawn Slayer Pirates. Slayer Pirates going to be using their extremely jacked Dwarven legs. Big pistol shots coming in from the Dive Bar Pirates. And now they are going to get caught by the Rangers. It looks like there has been a cannon called in from Glidden. Cannon maybe going to start shooting at the Archmage. We'll have to see. Soul Quench going down on somebody. And Soul Quench of the Gods. Oh, God. Oh, that's so lined up. Oh, the Bugman's Rangers get nailed. Man, that's some really, really good positioning here from Charix. Charix has been doing an excellent job with that. Narnia Lions on the way in. Narnia Lions are pretty excellent against dwarves and blasting charges in general. Looks like they're going to be diving across, trying to shut down the Bugman's Rangers, but the blasting charges do saturate in, not doing too much damage. So overall, the Narnia Lions are going to be laughing all the way to the bank. And in the back here, we do get these, the Archmage engaging against some of the chaff units here on the ground, and a couple Ekron's Miners called out to try and screen out the Rangers. Charix is very, very good micro as well, though, and is going to be pulling back into the woods. But now the Dwarven Vanguard, the sneaky dwarves, are going to be stealing the back objective. So this is a really powerful unit over here, right? We have Brotherhood of Grimnir, we have Grimdelvers. I would probably keep the Grimdelvers hidden in the trees if it were me. But yeah, White Lions of Grace going to be pressing in, but they're going to get nuked by blasting charges most likely. So let's see if Lytton is paying attention here. Are the blasting charges going to go down? The attack order has been given, and Grudge is satisfied. Big blasting charge right there. Oh, brutal devastation. As you see, a lot of damage going down to the White Lions of Grace, but not as much as you would think. Their armor is able to hold pretty resilient against those blasting charges. And the Elven Archers with a nice little RTS concave shooting into the Long Dong Slayer Pirates, which is what they should be doing. On the other side, Narnia Lions have tore apart the Bugman's Rangers, and the back objective is in the clutches of the Old Dwarves. They are behind on points, but it looks like the Brotherhood of Grimnir is going to be swarming from Objective 1 and trying to shut down this Archer line, which is going to be a bit of a tricky pickle for them, for sure. Dwarves are holding firm, but Charix is up on value, 2,100 against 1,000. Charix has been really doing a good job picking apart this army, like forcing the dwarves to play this wide playstyle rather than keeping them in formation. Seems to be working, but a lot of that, you know, is maybe on the Vanguard here, right? Lytton had like almost 3,000 gold back there, and this is not efficient at all. Having Slayers just charging balls deep into like 5 Archer units is basically not what you want to be doing. So if you guys, a little bit newer, these guys have basically 0 armor, they have no missile mitigation whatsoever, and they do manage to close the distance, but a player like Charix is a top tier player, and Lytton is a very solid tournament player as well, but Brotherhood of Grimnir getting, yeah, this is just not good for the dwarves. Brotherhood of Grimnir is going to be getting torn apart. On the back objective, we do see the Grimdelvers chilling over here. Looks like they're going to try and rip some shots into the Rangers here, but the Elves are cackling pretty hard right now as they do nail the Brotherhood of Grimnir. So the Brotherhood of Grimnir is getting focused down. They do have the Rune of Negation, which gives them 40% ward save, but I mean, this is really bad. They're going to get like 1 Archer unit for their efforts. In the backfield here, White Lions of Grace battling minor units. We do see a Soul Quench going down. That one didn't do too much damage. Big Breath Attack coming in from the Dragon as well. That is going to be roasting the Dwarf Warriors here. And I think we're on our way to a very quick Charix victory. Charix is looking very dominant in this game, using his Archers and Narnia Lions very effectively, pulling apart the forces of Lytton with very, very good effectiveness. In the backfield, the Dwarven Cannons are shooting and generating probably some decent value if they just sit on a Dragon over the course of the whole game. Yeah, you can see they're doing some okay work, but probably not going to be enough. Brotherhood of Grimnir getting absolutely pounded. They're down to 3 models, and they're doing their spin to win, Garen from League of Legends style. But they are going to be going down, and there's going to be one. We have to follow this Mighty Dwarf saga. Let's see if he takes one of these foul elves with him before he goes. But does not look like it's going to be the case. Nope, heats an arrow to a face. Certainly not the best way to go for that Mighty Slayer. And on the back objective, the Gambit here has been foiled. I think Lytton should have just maybe sat on the back objective, like here in the trees, away from the Archers, and tried to hold objective 1 and 3 for as long as possible. The push out there might have been a little bit dangerous. Dwarves seem to be in the pits. This is an absolutely crushing victory. 7,000 value here from Charix, 3,000 here for Lytton. Charix is one of the few elf mains. I guess there's a couple of them. We have, who are real elf mains? We have, I guess, Catholic Alcoholic is an elf main for sure. Charix is very good at elves too. Certainly a handful of other players, but yeah, looking pretty bleak. Just complete Elven domination here in this battle. Rahagra's Pride and Narnia Lions going to be feasting on the Bugman's Rangers. They're going to be getting nibbled up and taken straight to the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. On the backside here, Objective 1, looks like the Dwarven guns, as well as the Warriors who were here, taken apart by the Rangers and the War Lions of Grace. And now we got more War Lions of Grace rushing up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a tap out here from Lytton. This is an absolutely crushing victory. And just outstanding play from Charix, really. The Vanguard was a very big gamble. I think it would have been a little bit stronger, maybe with like Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, instead of using the Brotherhood of Grimnir, because at least Norgrimlings could tank those Archers and be more durable. Because, man, that Brotherhood of Grimnir, isolated on its own, just giving up so much value. The cannon is shooting into the Dragon. It's done a little bit of damage, but yeah, man, Charix is just so on point with all this. And we do get a nice Breath Attack down the pipe here. Going to be nailing those Dwarf Warriors. And the dwarves are just running out of steam. The elves are probably very quickly going to be taking the back objective. We do see rangers coming in. Rangers a couple patches ago did get Vanguard deployment, so these bad boys here are looking, quite a bit better. It was always the weirdest thing. Literally these, like, a ranger. Like, the whole thing with rangers and those type of units, like, thematically speaking, is they have Vanguard deployment, and literally for all of Warhammer 2, they didn't have it, which is so weird. But strange oversight. Thane down here, this is one way to go out, being munched on by a bunch of lions. It's looking like a little ancient Rome here. He's thrown into the gladiatorial arena. As the Thane is surrounded and feasted on, Archmage is going to be going after the cannon. The problem is the dwarves are having to defend the cannon with a 1,000 gold unit, which really sucks, because then he's losing agency on the battlefield. Objective 1, I mean, there's a little bit of a dwarf presence here. We do see some dwarf warriors desperately trying to grab that objective. And very much in the spirit of dwarves here. We do know, of course, that, they don't like to give up easily. They're very reluctant to give ground. As a matter of fact, in tabletop, dwarves have a rule. I forget what it's called. I think it's called, like, resolute or something, which is actually, like, when they fall back in good order or when they pursue something, they get a -1 modifier. So they don't run away as far as other factions do, but they also don't chase as far because they don't want to give up the ground upon which they're fighting, which is an interesting thing. Bolt Thrower is being called in. Bolt Throwers are amazing. Top tier unit. I think, like, a couple Bolt Throwers this game would have been very nice. But his whole gambit was that back cap, getting that, like, really, really cheeky back cap here. And it really did not work out. We get a Great Eagle called in from Charx. That's just to keep Gyro Bombers honest, because Gyro Bombers are allowed. And that is going to be a victory for Lothern and for the Elves. The Grudge going right into the old book, ladies and gentlemen. And let us go ahead and look at the value here and then look at the brackets as well. GG, well played. That was a nice game in the beginning. Yeah, it was a good little Grudge match. But yeah, Elves, very, very clean play by Charx. If you're looking how to beat the Dwarves with the Elves, look no further. This was extremely clean. Very, very good. And Lydon is a good Dwarf player, too. He's done very well. He has won some tournaments in the past. And Charx made that look easy. Narnia Lions. Shadow Warriors were kind of a cool tech as well. I don't know how well they actually did, but yeah, nothing on the Dwarf side really performed. Probably not a whole lot to analyze over here. Everything just kind of got, honestly, cut to pieces. So that is it. GG, well played in our first tourney match of the day. So let's go ahead and look at this and head on over to the tournament. So we will do it. And it's been a while since we've had this double elim, so hopefully the players are used to it. And have any scores been reported yet? That might have been the first match. We can just stick with Charx because he's going to have another game right away here. Because there are second opponents who had bye rounds, so they're waiting in the next rounds. So Charx is going to be playing who? Viename? Okay, that should be a good match. Great. All right. Right on, right on. Seems fun, man. Hey, Charx, well played, man. Well played to you as well, Hidden. Hope to see you climb your way from the lower brackets. That is going to be the dream. And we'll just hang out here. Charx, so you report the score, please. And then invite your next round opponent, which is going to be Viename. And we will see how you guys duel it out. Pone, you don't need to wait for me, Pone, if I start with this other game. Yeah. Admin issue on Discord. How dare they? Okay, I'm in Discord right now. I don't see any admin stuff. Is somebody having trouble finding an opponent? I'm looking. Where are they talking about? Oh, tournament help. We should probably just have them. Well, the person I play don't respond. Okay, so let me take a look at this. Still no response. Okay, so we had somebody not showing up here. Looks like he did not show. Okay. No problemo. That's Nina. Checking with this player here. No return yet, yeah? Isn't that weird? You sign up for a tournament like 15 minutes before it starts. You check in as if you're going to play, and then you just don't show up. It's the weirdest thing, man. I wish there were more tournaments in North American times. There'll be plenty, don't worry. We almost all summer, every tournament was like NA time, I would say. Okay, just check in with this player before we drop his opponent, and then he will advance on to the next round, and we should be okay. All right. So then Hlidden is now on the lower bracket. So Hlidden, you will be playing, let me remind him. Remember, it's double elim. So you keep playing. All right. So just reminding players it's double elim. Checking with this player here. If so, You advance with win. Okay, cool. So just waiting for this player to type. And now we have High Elves versus Demons of Chaos. All right, this is going to be an interesting one. I'm excited for this. Yeah, the Soul Quench was really good that game. It's really good. Sweaty. No, man, no more sweaty weather. It's actually really nice. It's like 70s now. Oh, it's so good. They're probably working from home, but the boss showed up. Yeah. Yeah, probably so. All right. Get next round opponent. All right, outstanding. And let me refresh this and then drop this player. And all right. So that is going to be dropped. All right. And no problemo. So then we have, you will play the winner of Outer Region. You will play winner of Outer Region and B6. Okay. So, Chaos Demons versus Elves. Can the Asur continue to win it up? Doing it for Ulthuan, man. Via Anime is a great player as well and does have a big Chungus cat as their profile picture, so you know they mean business. It's most wonderful. I love fall and winter are my favorite seasons probably. When growing up, it was like I was a spring and summer enjoyer, you know, because yeah, I don't know. Spring was always fun because you knew summer was close and you had school off. But as an adult, I think fall and winter are my favorite for sure. Because not only are they not hot, but just like something about it is so cozy, you know. My inner hobbit, inner Shire comes out. All right, so just checking here. Looks good. And yeah, I'll show you guys the bracket once we get a couple more games recorded in the books, and then you guys will be able to kind of see what's cracking. Where Kent stuff was from the Turin tourneys, yeah. Give me an Eternal Autumn. Spring, I used to like spring, but then when I you know, really conceptualized how bad my allergies were, I was like, all right, we could skip spring. You know, all the blooming and all that. Fall and winter are the best gaming seasons. They are. Fall is awesome too, though. Yeah, there's like this. Yeah, I love fall weather. Chad, winter enjoyer. Well, winter where I live isn't even real winter. It's like 60 degrees, like 60, 65 degrees consistently. So yeah, it's not too bad. It ain't too bad at all. Okay, so it looks like no more admin stuff, which is good. So what do Demons of Chaos do? They're such a diverse faction. They can do so much. That's why I really enjoy Demons of Chaos. And tabletop Demons of Chaos are pretty cool too. They have some really neat customization you can do with that army. Like, so let's say like you roll up to an old world tabletop tournament, Warhammer Fantasy tabletop tournament with Demons of Chaos, and you know people know you're playing it because oftentimes you'll know what factions are going to be played in tournaments beforehand. You can see that. Some people declare early, but with demons you just can't plan for them. I mean, they can be doing so many different things unless you can specifically see the list, which you can't. It's so hard to plan for them, and it's kind of like this in this game as well. There are a couple like meta elements. Like, you know, there's always going to be Fiends of Slaanesh nowadays. Like, Fiends of Slaanesh are pretty much an auto take somewhere in the build, especially against High Elves. They're good against the infantry and cav. But yeah, aside from that, the Lord choices are pretty varied. You can see the Nurgle Lord, you can see the Tzeentch Lord, the Slaanesh Lord is occasionally used as well for his rampages and army-wide buffs. The Khorne Lord, you could probably put your money on the fact you're probably not going to see Red Ogre coming out too often, all jokes aside. Yeah. So. Winters is when the pipes in your buildings freeze and burst. Not here. Yeah. Bald homie here for the summers, yeah. Your bald head enjoys the summer weather. It depends. I mean, summer in some places can be pleasant, but where I live, it's just hell. Yeah, summer is hell. I can only imagine those poor souls who are living in, like, you know, central states like, well, even western, like Arizona, Nevada, you know, like all these places, like just where it's like consistently over 100, just pure brutality just for like months on end. Yeah, it's wild, man. I used to go out Christmas shopping in Washington in a t-shirt and shorts and 30-degree weather. Yeah, you must have some Scandinavian ancestry. I had a roommate in college who was he was American, but basically both of his parents were, you know, Swedish. And this man, like, it would just be like raining and cold, probably just like, and he would just be in a t-shirt and shorts. I don't know what it was. He had some Viking ancestry for sure. It's just the land of the The rain and snow there, yeah. So, Chaos Demons are ready. Charix is going to be reading up here soon. And let's look around the brackets and see if some of the other rounds are concluding. We have air conditioning, but it doesn't fully solve the problem. All right, so the bottom brackets are going to start filling up here. Yes, yes. I'm going to remind the goblins that remember, it is double elimination. So don't leave. I know it takes some getting used to. If Texas drops under 0 Celsius, the entire state collapses. Well, Texas has problems during the summer too, doesn't it, with its power grid? I know when it gets really hot, there's been... my grandma lives in Texas. She's from there. And she's mentioned that during some of the really hot summers, like, Texas has issues with its power grid. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, how the hell would you have even guessed this is going to be the Demons of Chaos build? You got 4 Plague Bearers, you have an Exalted Keeper of Secrets, the Nurgle Arawar, like, it's such an amalgamation of random stuff. Yeah, I'll have a Conquest tournament. Well, next weekend there's going to be a big one, Alexander, because we're going to have what's it called? The Faction War, which is the biggest Conquest tourney. So that's going to be great. Don't tell me the mythology guys are outperforming us on the like button. That's right. Puling knows. Swedish poor bastard never says she has the lives as Puling. Yeah, what is the rivalry with that? Yeah, you guys have such a rivalry with the Swedes. I even saw that on I was watching this TV show. It's called Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and there's an episode where these Swedish detectives are like working with the Brooklyn detectives, and they're like, they even talk about the rivalry. Yeah, it's yeah, I'd be interested to explore that one for sure. All right, guys, taking a look at the build of Charix. Is he going to be the Demon Slayer here today? He is rocking a bunch of Silver and Guard. So we got Silver and Guard in the front. Pretty damn solid unit. Super high stat line, magic resist. Really good at holding and allowing your archers to do most of the damage. Aside from that, it's going to be Archers Under the Sunset, Lothern Sea Guard, which are really good here. They can fight Toads, they can fight Fleshhounds, they can fight Fiends at melee and at range. Just super, super solid. And on top of that, we do have Alariel the Radiant. So Larry has Tempest, which is God's here against demons for locking down flyers. And we do also have Earthblood and Foz Protection. Looking at the Hordes of Hell via anime here, it is going to be the Noxbringer. A really good choice. Noxbringer is good against archers, and when it hits them, it reduces their ammo. We have an Exalted Keeper of Secrets. Such a cool looking model. Oh my god. Pit of Shades is very good against elves as well. Drop this on top of their archers, and it's going to melt them pretty quickly. And Melkoths against their good cavalry units like Fireborn. Fleshhounds of Khorne are going to be rushing up to grab the objective, and the rest of the demonic army is going to be Plague Bearers, who are very vulnerable against archers, but nonetheless, they should be able to move there. Peeling says it goes way back. It will never end. The world will collapse in a small slab of the rock. That's pretty. Danes and Swedes duking it out. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I always wondered about that rivalry. I didn't know too much about it. Yeah, every European country has its rivals for sure. Yeah, that's you know, my wife is Polish. I'm pretty familiar with that for sure. Objective 2 is going to be grabbed by the demons, and the Plague Bearers moving up with Seekers of Slaanesh being called in from via anime. Seekers here are not going to be particularly effective against a lot of these units, but I guess if they are able to rear charge like a Lothern Sea Guard or something, they could do some formidable damage. We do see the Exalted Keeper of Secrets moving up here and looking to maybe drop the Pit of Shades already. But yeah, immediately going to get shot. You need to get some good juking here because, man, Keeper of Secrets will get pin cushioned so hard if they're standing still. But they're very fast with 80 movement speed, so they can definitely dodge the arrows effectively. And here we do see the Soul Grinder shooting in. The Noxbringer does rip a nice shot here on the Talons of Torquelada. And you can see it actually does drain their ammo, which is such a cool mechanic. I love those kind of unique mechanics like that. And what are the Flesh Doggies doing here for via anime? Okay, they're moving into Spears, which is a mistake. Clearly a micro misclick, and is going to be retreating back here. In the trees, we have the 2 Plague Bears hanging out, waiting. They're on a bit of a vacation right now. And the Noxbringer, with its armor, is going to start getting pounded. And remember, there's no healing here. I would really like to see maybe a Nurgle caster in reserve for the Demons of Chaos. So if their big monsters do get beat up, you can come out and heal this Keeper of Secrets or something. I think that would be pretty MLG. But the Demons do have the 2 objectives, and this is a very common playstyle for Chaos. What you do is you move up, you grab this objective, and then, you know, the more static gunline armies are going to be stuck in the middle, and you can either sandwich them, or when they move one way, you then collapse on their back the other way. There's a couple different tactics you can do in that regard. So maybe an Alpha Strike could be going down here. We do see the Shrieking Sky Rays doing their little Vortex ability here on the Storm Riders. And now the Exalted Keeper of Secrets going to be moving in. Oh, big Pit of Shades right there. Probably not going to get dodged doing an Alpha Strike here. I do like this. A little bit of Aerocrastic style play, as we do get the Lothern Sea Guard getting nuked here pretty damn heavily by the Pit of Shades. And the Seekers Alpha Strike and the Storm Riders, that's going to be very, very clean. But that big demon, you definitely don't want it taking any more damage than it needs to. So the Plague Bearers have moved out, secured the objective. We do see Furies flying in, and Charax is going to be dropping a Tempest right here. Tempest going down to the Chaos Furies, as the beautiful Alpha Strike does continue on the far side. One unit of Lothern Sea Guard is broken and battered. But Silver Helms have arrived to help out, but having a relatively bad time versus the Seekers, as well as the Exalted Keeper of Secrets, who is a God tier anti-large fighter, right? Very, very good. In the middle, Noxbringer continues to shoot. Archers are now lining up their sights here on the Exalted Keeper, who's going to want to run away. If it gets stuck in this combat, it's going to have a pretty terrible time, as it's already getting down to almost half health, which is, I mean, they're such powerful, impactful characters, Keepers, but man, are they squishy. They really have a bad time if they get focus fired. So where are the Plague Bearers at? One Plague Bearer versus Silver and Guard, that's going to be a 45-minute grind, but the Plague Bearer will win it eventually, but it will take a long time. We do have more Fleshhounds of Khorne coming on up, and the double objective does belong to the Demons of Chaos. So despite the fact they're down on value, you know, they still do have the objective play. And man, I really hope for Vio's sake that he does have a Nurgle caster in reserve to come in and heal this character, because that Keeper of Secret is really going to be able to be impactful for sure, but if he keeps getting pincushion like this by all these archers, it's going to be a bad day. So Plague Bearer is collapsing from the side. Fleshhound's coming in, as the Noxbringer does get caught in melee with some spears, so a little bit of a blunder there. Definitely need to get that bad boy away. Rampage going down on Lothern Sea Guard. Oh, Seductive Glory. Okay, that's pretty cool. So Rampage is all these archers into melee combat, but not these ones. These ones are still shooting. A couple Plague Bearers are trying to get through onto those archers, but this could be a quick GG here if the Greater Demon dies. It's very much a Demons of Chaos thing. Like, one of the biggest downsides of demons is they're disintegrating, and when you lose your lord early and your units start to disintegrate faster, man, it is a really, really bad time. So Keeper's trying to get away. 2100 HP right here. On the backside, Fiends of Slaanesh have been called in, going to be rear charging into the Storm Riders, and looks like the Exalted Keeper of Secrets going to be trying to escape. Double objectives still being held here very firmly by the Demons of Chaos, but we will see how much longer this Greater Demon is going to be surviving for. Looking at 5,500 against 31, and we do see the Exalted Keeper charging in, potentially getting a terror route here on the Storm Riders. Nope, looks like Storm Riders are holding firm. You know, of course, Elves known for their very, very good leadership. Calling here is going to be Bloodletters, a great choice. Bloodletters are awesome. Awesome if they're not being pincushioned by archers. Ammunition running a little bit lower here, but the Greater Demon is in the pits. This thing is 1100 HP, and man, I really, really hope for Vio's sake he has that Nurgle caster in reserve. Because, like, this thing has so much more to give in this battle, and it really needs to. This is actually a bit of a blunder here. We do see the Reavers engaging versus Fiends, but the Fireborn coming in might be able to change that. So the Fireborn, the elite Chads of the High Elf Empire, are going to be swarming in and getting a brutal charge into the Fiends, and they will tear them apart. Granted, there are Shrieking Skyrays here, Horn of Khorne, and Furies, but Larry is going to be responding with Star of Avalorn, which is God tier. It's so good. And Fog Protection going down as well. Fog Protection, which is going to be giving armor. And it looks like the big man's going to be running in. But what kind of damage is it going to be? It's very beat up, 1100 HP. Incredibly dodgy. You do not want to lose this Keeper. That would just be game over, I think. If the Keeper dies, I legit think we could probably call the game. It is going to continue retreating. It does have 800 HP, so it is going to be fleeing into the tree line here. As far as the side objective goes, we see some more Seekers coming in right there. Down here, the Plague Bearers are still in that grind, and like I said, they will win that eventually. And the Keeper of Secrets does fall. I don't see too many ways you can come back from this. It's a 3,000 value deficit against a healing faction. I think the Demons of Chaos are rapidly going to be starting to fall here. I think the Exalted Keeper was a mistake. I don't like it that much in this matchup. I mean, the Pit of Shades and Shadow Magic is nice, but it's just... High Elves have so many archers, right? And that thing's bane is archers, and they're good at defending their archers too. There are some factions that really struggle to defend their archers against like Fiends and Furies and things like that, but High Elves are not one of them. They definitely have the tools to do it. But can the Demons win on objectives? That's pretty much their only opportunity at this point, is to find a way to win an objective somehow with a very, very cheeky W here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that one off. Here we do see Larry chasing down the Noxbringer, and there are going to be some Seekers coming in. Maybe if Larry got surrounded and taken down, maybe that could kind of turn the tide. Bloodletters do counter Silver and Guard very effectively. We see the Noxbringer ripping a very good shot into the Silverins here. These Lothern Sea Guard are a problem, right? Because even if you charge the Lothern Sea Guard, they have charge defense against large and spears. So Seekers are going to have a really bad time. And now they charge into Silver Helms to fight, which normally isn't terrible for Seekers. But Seekers are not a unit that wants to do like head-on, get in their charges. They're more like flanking, because the shock damage of the Silver Helms will still melt them rather quickly. In head-up fight, 1-to-1, a Seeker would win, but with Larry helping nearby, Larry also gives magic damage to nearby units, which is so good against demons. Looking at the Plague Bears here, the last of the Plague Bears are being melted. This down objective has been taken here by Charx, so Charx is going to be grabbing that. And here we do see the Fiends of Slaanesh coming across, trying to countercharge the Silver Helms. Bloodletters have also arrived at the middle objective. Looking at the value, 9.2 against 6.3 with healing taken into account, that's probably even more. Fireborn are basically going to methodically just mow down all these demons. If you ride the Fireborn with Larry, it's such a good combo, because then they get magic damage, which gives them 20% extra damage against demons, which is crazy, crazy good, right? So Larry's going to be circling here. We got Silver Helms heading to the low ground objective. Plague Bears of Nurgle are now going to be surrounded and killed by mass spears and Silver Helms. And here we do see the Bloodletters getting charged by the Dragon Princes or the Fireborn, who do also have fire resist of 35%. And Bloodletters, yeah, they don't do fire damage, I don't think, but it could be relevant against some of the other demonic units. So Fiends coming in to try and help out, but once again, they're probably just going to be killed by the Fireborn and or poked to pieces by all of these Elven spears and bows. Wildern Seaguard able to shoot there. Side objective, the last of the demons are going to be taken apart. And here we do have the Noxbringer trying its best to get back in the game, but that is going to be a rock hard triple cap. And Charx showing why he's one of the Elven goats, that is for sure, as he is able to claim victory, most likely once again here in this game. Bardzo Dobja performance indeed, as we do see the Shrieking Sky Rays coming out. And what kind of charges are we going to get? Attacking Fireborn is certainly cost effective, but you know, that's not going to be anywhere near getting back in the game. And dude, what Larry? It's been a combat Larry all game. She's been getting in there and battling this Noxbringer. Noxbringer has been pretty damn good though. 2,500 value on the Noxbringer for the Demons of Chaos. Honestly, the only thing the Demons of Chaos player really did wrong was the Lord. Like, the Lord choice was suboptimal and probably cost via the game. I think if you come in with like a Nurgle Lord, like a Nurgle Demon Prince or something, who can heal himself and then also be very disruptive with like maybe Stream of Corruption, and then suddenly you're in a good position. I think this is a razor close game, but just not having a Lord taking the leadership penalty, and greater Demon Lords cost what, like 2,000 plus at the minimum, so losing those is just not a good thing at all. So the infantry on the objective going to be taken apart. We do see the Bloodletters of Khorne getting shot to pieces by all of the Elven archers. Fire Chads coming in, lances couched for the Donut Island, yes. And they get the charge right into the Fiends. Fiends do have the Superfic Musk, which is going to debuff their stats a little bit, but they are no match for the elite of the Elves, who probably still do have some healing here, and we're going to see a tap out here soon. I mean, he's just spamming out Fiends, desperately trying to win this fight. Maybe thinking if he can break open this position that there's a chance, but that's definitely a delusion. There's no chance. There's a full health Dragon Prince here, full health Silver Helm. Larry is actually bullying this Noxbringer, which is really, really funny, and we do see the Fiends go down, and that is going to be it. GG, well played, man. Charx on an absolute tear today. He is causing a lot of havoc. And yeah, we're going to see if we can find another set of factions to watch here. But yeah, Larry was awesome. The spears held firm. The bows did good, 900, 1100, 13. Yeah, you could see good value on those archers. And the Fire Chads got 1600 as well. The Keeper of Secrets still did well despite dying early, but not enough to really make a difference in the game. And that was it. GG, well played, those mighty champions. And now let's go look at the bracket. So we're going to refresh that and see if any new matchups appear. Yeah, Heil fans, you guys are getting some nice dubs, that's for sure. Okay. So I'm just pinging some of the players in the lower brackets to let them know that they have an opponent now. And now the lower brackets are going to begin after this. The higher brackets will certainly finish first, but let's see if that score has been reported. I think if you're bringing the Noxbringer, you need to be slower to engage. Yeah, I hear you. It did good. The Noxbringer did pretty good despite that. But yeah, it's a great observation, Bob. It certainly is. Okay. So let's jump out of here, and we will find another matchup here soon. Now remember, if a player loses a match, they're not eliminated from the tournament. They will go down to the bottom bracket and have a chance to submarine their way back for vengeance, which I think it's a very fun format, having the salvation bracket. For best of one, I think it's okay. For best of three, it takes way too long, though. Noxbringer plus a pink fire caster is a solid combo. That's a really good point. I like that. Yeah, you could also use blue fire too, right? Just go down the side and use blue fire on archers. It'd probably have a similar outcome. But you got to watch out for Tempest. Yeah, like he had a Tempest caster too, but did he have any way to really punish on top of a Tempest? I don't know. Is there a bracket reset in the final? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah. So Charx is advanced. And, I mean, we could just follow Charx's adventures. I mean, it's kind of fun. And looking here, yep, those matches are still going. Outer Region was able to win. Very cool. We will get to the bottom of it. Yes, yes. Did you guys see the new Warriors of Chaos stuff, by the way? So Warriors of Chaos just got their update for the old world, which is pretty cool. Let me show you guys. And they got a couple units which are pretty rad. So go to old world and Warriors of Chaos here. Yeah, so they got this thing, which is rad. This is a Warpfire Dragon. This thing is so freaking cool. That is a great freaking model. Gonna have to get my clutches on that someday. But that's a Warpfire Dragon. This thing is has a really cool ability. Basically, it removes the ward save of whatever it's fighting, which is cool. In a meta where people are using a lot of ward save. And then we got the giant Chaos Spawn, which is something we don't have in Total War yet, right? We don't have a giant Chaos Spawn. Thing's pretty freaky looking. And God, that's so absurdly expensive. And we also got Skin Wolves. So we got Skin Wolves in Warhammer the Old World and Warhammer Fantasy. They've come back, so you can use Skin Wolves in tabletop now as well. Super cool model. And what else is here? Yeah, you have a lot of the OGs brought back. These are like ancient models from the days of old, but the Chaos Trolls are kind of cool. I mean, they're a little haggard, but yeah, they try their best. They try their best, and oh my god, the Chaos Ogres are such a meme. Yeah, so they just got a couple of those, and they also got their Arcane Journal, which has 2 new armies in it. You can they basically have Norska in Old World now. You could play Norska because there's a sub faction in their book, which is like all Marauders, and it has Huskarls, it has Berserkers, it has Marauder Chieftains, it has some really cool stuff. Okay, just gonna catch a match here in a second. Looks like Charix has won their game. That match is going down in the bottom. And we're just going to be hanging. We are just going to be hanging. Giant Chaos Spawn is just me on Monday. Yeah. How are, lore-wise, how are Dragon Ogres tied to Chaos? I don't know exactly. I know that, like, in the ancient times, the Dragon Ogres made a pact with the Dark Gods, the Shaggoths and the Dragon Ogres, to, like, serve them. I don't know exactly the lore reason, but I know that that's how that went down. Yeah, we're always hosting tournaments, you know? I know we do other tournaments and other games, but Total War is our bread and butter around here. We love it. And Professor Pone and Hitman Hippo are having a duel of fates. As soon as they are done, we will have a game to cast here. Outer Region and Hosnina are playing, and Flamaster and Drofgod are playing as well. So we'll keep tabs. We'll keep tabs. Probably like a 5-minute break here, I would say, before we get into our next match. I think he means if the winner's bracket champion needs to be defeated twice. No, you're only defeated once in the grand finals. Yeah, only once. Some double elimination tournaments do that, but I think just defeating them once is fine. It was so that they could beat the Dragon Ogres. The Dragons and Ogres. Got it. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, yeah, somebody in chat knows the lore better than I. But yeah, during the Chaos Gates opening, they basically agreed to become Pawns of Chaos if they were spared. And also part of the deal was because they wanted to beat the Dragons and the Ogres they were fighting, is what Kyle is saying in chat. Similar to Chorfs. Yeah, well, Chorfs are, yeah, they don't worship the main Chaos Pantheon though, right? They're all about Hashut. That was their homie, because they were kind of like abandoned and left to die in some like Chaos Wasteland. So they're just like, all right, well, let's roll with this bull dude who's down to help us. Chaos Dwarves thematically are so cool. Very fun faction to play. They're very fun. I just got myself a big Bale Taurus model, which is super rad for the old world. So gonna get that bad boy all built and painted up soon. Okay, matches are still going. And let's take a look at the brackets here so you guys can see the state of affairs. So Charix defeated via anime here, and then we got Charix waiting. Hitman Hippo and Pone, Outer Region and Hosnina, Flamaster and Drofgod, and of course you can see the lower bracket games are now taking place as well. Or at least one of them is, and they'll be firing off here very soon. So we'll get to those. So we're gonna cast like all the upper bracket, and then we will transition down to casting the saga of the players who are going to be advancing on the bottom as well. Yes. Chaos Dwarves are a rich man's empire. Well, Chaos Dwarves are very cheap to collect actually if you use the other like third-party models, which are honestly super good anyway. So it's whatever. Yeah, they're very specific. Yeah, they do. That's right. Chaos Dwarves are definitely pretty different than the other Chaos factions. Because like you look at like all the Chaos, like Nurgle, Slaanesh, and Khorne, And they generally are not very. They don't have any elements of diplomacy or. Yeah, it's mainly just like we want the world to burn, we want the world to be plagued, you know, whatever. We want to turn it into an HP Lovecraft realm and Tzeentch. But if you look at the Chaos Dwarves, yeah, they're horrifically evil, but like they can also speak other languages like money because it accentuates the greediness of the dwarves. Like if like a faction were to perhaps, you know, want to buy supplies for them or pay them off or whatever, it could perhaps, I would wager, be possible. Yeah. I'm just guessing, though. I don't really know. Somebody who knows the lore could probably articulate that better. What colors do you play if you play Magic? Oh, I do play Magic. I play a lot. Mono black is my favorite, but I always build these mono black decks in Commander that are really sweaty and evil, and then I just take them apart because the people don't have fun playing against them. So then I usually go to Grixis. I like Grixis a lot. I have a Sauron the Dark Lord deck, which is one of my pet decks. I really like it. And then I have an Eldrazi mono green deck, which is very like Unga Bunga. Let's see, what else do we run these days? I want to make an Urza deck. Yeah, I think that would be fun. But yeah, right now I have Sauron. I have a Sheldred deck. I have a mono green Eldrazi, and then I have Commodore Guff Planeswalker Super Friends deck, which is all right. It's kind of boring to play, but yeah. Just come back. Hey, Ainsley, welcome. Welcome. All right. So let me see if we're ready for another game here. We have the back-to-back, and now the classic Total War Tourney is kicking in. Not yet. Not yet. Man, those matches are getting really sweaty here. They've been playing for a while, too, I feel. Charix, I guess Charix just had really dominant matches. Like, his games were super quick. I think that's been part of it. Yeah, they were fast. Chaos Swords probably do more diplomacy than other Chaos factions. They supply Chaos with arms and armor and recruit hobgoblins. Yeah. Have you seen the 5-color Ezio Commander? I have not seen that. No, I haven't played against it. Can you say the color combos? I don't know the names of the type of combos. Yeah, so Sauron is black, blue, and red, and Sheldred is mono black, and then the Eldrazi are just mono green. Sauron is a really fun deck. He's a really, really fun commander. He's very fun. We've done some Magic here on the channel. As a matter of fact, that's some deep lore of the channel. Is when I first started it, it was going to be a Magic the Gathering channel. That was like the plan in the beginning. But then Total War Warhammer came out, and I was like, oh, that looks so cool. So then we jumped on that. Yeah, and if you want, there's a website that's really good for Commander. If you're like looking to get into it, this is like the God tier website. Let me show you. Hold on. Switching over here in a second, and there we are. So this is EDH Rec. This website freaking rules for Commander. So you can go and you can look up by commanders by type, right? You can look by sets. You can look for color schemes. So if you go to Grixis, for example, it's going to pull up like all the Grixis commanders, and you're going to be able to, oh wow, Sauron is really the most popular. That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense. It's such an iconic character. But yeah, you can go and then like you're like, oh, I want to build an Abaddon the Despoiler deck, right? And then you go and it will show you the best cards for the deck based on like community feedback. So you're going to be able to like build a deck very easily, even if your knowledge of the game is pretty limited. You can do that. This website rules. It's very good for beginners. Yeah, that's right, Misha. Back when we were Commander turn. How's the Total War Warhammer scene looking these days? Yeah, it's healthy, but it's a downtime in terms of like, you know, updates and you know, new things coming out. So it's a little bit slower, but yeah, it's good as always. We have a very healthy land battle scene. Human Boy doing a great job over there, and we also have a very good domination scene here, running with all of our tournament hosts. It's awesome. Do you see the message from your new member? Which one? What did I miss? Yeah, we just answered it. We just answered it, unless I missed something else. We just missed something else there. In which game? I only play Commander in Magic, yeah. I only play the Commander. Oh, wow. Outer Region defeated by Hasnina. All right. That's some, that's a, I don't know this Hasnina player. That's a very solid victory. Okay, so on the bottom, we should have Outer Region is now going to be climbing from the pits of the brackets. So if we have a quick update on the tournament. We're still waiting for a new match to start. There haven't been any new games that are ongoing yet. So if we go to the brackets, you can see Outer Region was defeated here by Hasnina. And now he's relegated to the bottom here, where he'll play the winner of Bongo and Opal Bear, and then he'll have a chance to climb back to the grand finals after that. So, hey, bud, watching with my son. Hey, right on. Question about 40K. What are you hoping for? What fears you got about 40K Total War? Shout out to my son, Noah. Right on, yeah. Partner Bex and Uncle. Hey, that's great. Bex and you. Sorry, I was just making, when people say shout out, there's always a trap. You know, they'll try and it'll be like some like offensive string of words that like are deceiving to the eye. So I was just being careful there, but thank you, Battle Tutorial. Yes, your son Noah and your partner Bex as well. Right on, and your uncle. Great. So 40K Total War, I think that is going to be a slam dunk. If like people, I've seen the argument that, oh, it's going to be so hard to implement 40K's engine, and you know, I really don't think it is. I think Creative Assembly has the talent, and if they, you know, as long as the leadership like lets them, you know, cook, as they would say, I think it'll be great. Like literally, you have 1-to-1 units. Like Forsaken are literally what are those freaking Chaos Space Marine units called? Possessed. You have Rattling Gunners are like a Devastator squad. You know, Aspiring Champions are like a tactical squad of like Chaos Chosen or whatever. Like it's such an easy thing. I do think they should do a new engine though. This one is very old. But I think it's going to be a slam dunk Space Jam. Now, my hope is that Total War Warhammer 40K launches with a very solid multiplayer like network. It needs to have something like give us dedicated servers, and that also is for campaign, because who doesn't want to have a grand galaxy-spanning conquest campaign with your homies and not deal with lag, right? Give us dedicated servers for Total War Warhammer 40K. It's going to bring in so many people who've never played Total War before. Make it a good, solid launch. Hit it hard, right? Give us dedicated servers and give us a dedicated multiplayer game mode, which doesn't need to be policed by the players. Whether that be a conquest style, domination style, I don't even care. Just something solid that everybody can play. Selfish things I'd like to see. I would like to see them make it so there's one competitive multiplayer mode. There's not like a division in the community, because it's really a bummer how it is now, where, you know, half the community plays land battle and half them play Dom, which is fine, but it would be better if everybody played the same game mode. Was there an announcement for 40K? No, there's not, but it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. Should be cool. Will Total War Warhammer 40K have naval battles? I don't think they need to do that myself. I don't think that's worth the development time. I think just do what they do for this game, where they just have the armies, like, if two, like, spaceships clash, the armies that are being carried on them just, like, fight on a moon or something. Or they fight, like, on the deck of a ship, you know, whatever, like a boarding action. I don't think you need to have naval, like, because there are already games for that. We have, like, really good 40K, like, Battlefleet Gothic is super good. Man, this is such a long sequence of games here. Sorry about the downtime here, guys. CA has gone through hard times, but they've also had some wins. Like the last update, Thrones of Decay was very good. And if they can carry on that momentum, I think we'll be in good shape here. Yeah, Battlefleet Gothic Armada is such a good game. All right, we got Charix versus Hitman Hippo. That's what we're casting. All right, so Charix versus Hitman Hippo. And this is a heavy hitter game here. So I guess we're just doing elves today. And elves versus the world. We're going to see. Okay. So Professor Pone is down in the pits there. He's going to be battling B6. He was defeated by Hitman Hippo. Total War 40K will be on a planet like Mechanics. I'm not sure how they'll do the map. I really only have thought about the multiplayer, but yeah. I think Hyenas was like a lesson, you know? I'm hoping that the brass at Sega and Creative Assembly learned from Hyenas, because it's just such... Like, Total War has the market cornered so incredibly hard on the genre. Like, why would you not just capitalize on that? Like, why try and compete with these, like, massive, successful FPS, MOBA-style games, right? When you have almost no experience in that field? And you're super late on the trend, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just seems bonkers. We could do Professor Pone versus B6, but I think this will be a pretty fun match to watch. Yeah, that'll be a pretty fun one. Really, definitely was poor planning indeed. Yeah. It's not all elves, no, but the games we've been casting so far have been elves. Hopefully Charix is still here. Let's see if he's around. Go ahead. Let's see. We could do Pone's game. We could do a Professor Pone battle. I'm going to see if he started yet. 2 started yet? Although I know there's been some lag with one of these players, so maybe we should opt not to do that match. Yeah, a little bit dodgy. A little bit dodgy. Meanwhile, CA unveils hyenas too. Don't put that evil on us, dude. Come on. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants it. Okay, Charix, are you here? Hitman Hippo's ready for you. We could also do the lower bracket if they finish first. We'll have to see which one does. All right, so lower bracket games are now underway. So Lydon just needs to play the winner of that series, and then we should get the ball rolling. Oh, Civilization Middle-earth. Oh, that'd be so good, Gunhound. Total War, Warhammer, Total War Middle-earth would be amazing. Civilization Middle-earth would be amazing. Yeah, those would all be great. Those would all be great. Oh my god. Yeah, just give us a grand scale Lord of the Rings game before we're too old to game, you know? It's gotta happen, right? Gotta happen. I don't know about Total War Middle-earth happening like soon. I think 40K would happen first, but I could see it happening in the next 15 years. Like, it's such a popular IP, and that's such like a cash cow. I guess it would really come down to like the licensing and how expensive all that is. Okay. Battle for Middle-earth 3, give it to me. Oh, I would love any Lord of the Rings RTS. Okay. So let's actually jump over and do this side. Hey, we'll cast your game. Cool. So we're going to cast Flamaster's game, so we just need to find it. There it is. And, all right. Let's get this party started. Here we are. Another Demons of Chaos match. Interesting. Yeah, because I don't know if Lydon and Charix are there right now. So, excuse me, Charix and Hitman Hippo. I'm sure they'll be back. Go ahead and start. No problem. Yeah, we got Rings of Power instead. Yeah, Rings of Power has been a disappointment for sure. If there's been some things that have been, you know, there has been some... I mean, I definitely dislike the show overall. But there have been some elements of Rings of Power that are kind of cool, like the world building, like in terms of the visuals, are pretty amazing. Seeing the Dwarven kingdoms and Numenor and these like landscapes with a really high CGI budget is like pretty epic. Yeah, I mean those I try to look at it through a positive lens. And, you know, just like putting it on in the background. If it wasn't Lord of the Rings, right? If Rings of Power was just some generic fantasy show and it wasn't in the Lord of the Rings universe, you know, and it wasn't kind of, you know, changing some things up that people were used to in terms of like the Peter Jackson style versus this, then yeah, I think it would be probably like people wouldn't be as hard on it, but soon they're going to release Lord of the Rings mod for Total War Attila, open beta with campaign. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, Rings of Power production value is amazing. It is. It definitely is. All right, so we got Grand Cathay versus the Demons of Chaos. Oh. Let's see. Yes. So start from left side of bracket and work that way with maps. The stalking old pwn dog, letting them know the map. And now we're on the battle for Itza. Let the hate flow. No, I mean, like I've been watching the Rings of Power episodes because I'm just curious to see the depictions of some of these Tolkien characters, and you know, like it's pleasant enough to just have on in the background while I'm painting minis or something. It still has like some high stake, you know, high production value fantasy on TV, which is fine. And I have a really low standard for what I enjoy, but if I had to be really critical and give my opinion of the show, I don't think it's very good. But yeah. Yeah, no, Peter Jackson's films did indeed break a fair amount of the lore as well. But yeah, I felt like the themes were a little... Yeah, I agree with you, Gunhound. I think it's a good analysis. Yeah. Are you going to watch Arcane was a great show. That's the League of Legends show, right? Yeah, season 1 with Arcane was really good. So Grand Cathay against Demons. Probably you're going to see one of the Dragon Twins. You probably see Probably see Iron Dragon, I would guess. He's impossible to snipe, and his breath attack roasts demons. What's not to love about that, right? And then from there, just Jade Warriors, crossbows, call it a day. You know, on Itza especially, Itza's a really good Cathay map. So if they can kill the Bloodletters, then they're in good shape. Oh, Peter Jackson's original trilogy was just it's my favorite film, probably my favorite films of all time. Peter Jackson's trilogy, followed up by Gladiator, like the original, not the, yeah, obviously there's only one right now, but Gladiator, I love the original Gladiator. That was just, that's definitely one of the best of all time for me as well. Those are so good. I really like the original Blade Runner too. I felt like that was a great movie. I don't know if I'd put that top 5 for me, but it's in the top 10 for sure. I love Blade Runner. I think Linkin Park is going to have music in Arcane Season 2. That's interesting. Yeah, the Hobbit trilogy wasn't great. It was pretty haggard. Like seeing the dwarves defying the laws of gravity, like floating down the river, and like seeing a morbidly obese dwarf doing like backflip, like a 10-foot backflip in the air and landing in a barrel again, like shit like that is just so haggard. Oh my god! Like there were some fun parts in the Hobbit trilogy. Like Martin Freeman was a very good Bilbo. Seeing Gandalf back was fun, and you know some of the OG cast members as you know Galadriel was awesome, and. But yeah, there was some really haggard shit in the Hobbit trilogy. Gladiator is so cool that Rome treats Russell Crowe like royalty. Oh, is that true? I didn't know that. The Hobbit trilogy with Guillermo del Toro would have been interesting. Yeah. Yeah, the music was good in the Hobbit trilogy. It was. Oh, The Thing is one of the best movies of all time. That's definitely in my top 5. It's so good with Kurt Russell. Oh, it's amazing. It's an amazing one. Oh man, the dwarves. Like, do you guys remember how hyped it was when the first Hobbit trailer came out? And like they had like the first Hobbit trailer come out. All right, it's we had the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's the best thing ever. And then we get the Hobbit trailer, and it's like they have the fireplace singing scene, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to be the best thing ever. You know, they show Thorin Oakenshield, who looks awesome, and they're all sitting around the fire, all like morose and serious, and it's like, wow, this is going to be an epic journey. You know, and then, then we get the movies. You're like, no, it was like, that was such a, I don't know, what would be the term, like a honey trap or, yeah, a honey dick or whatever. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. It had so much. I remember being so excited at that first trailer when they have the dwarven hymn being sung around the fireplace. God, I was so erect. I remember that. That was something truly magical. Have I ever read the story from Lovecraft that inspired The Thing? I haven't. No. Yeah, I haven't. Blue balls for sure, says Feeling. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's refresh the tournament, see how we're looking. So you're saying the Hobbit movies are supposed to be 2 movies, but they're split into 3. I don't even think that's like the biggest issue, but yeah, I mean they were pretty haggard. They were pretty haggard, unfortunately. Okay, Opal Bear defeated Bongo, so now it's Opal Bear versus Outer Region on the bottom. Got Drof God versus Hlidin. Looking at the top 4, we have Hitman Hippo versus Charix and Hasina versus Flamaster. Soon we're going to have a semifinal match as well. Oh, in the Mountains of Madness, I've read a fair amount of the Lovecraft stories because of my wife. She's a diehard Lovecraft fan. I don't know if I've read Mountains of Madness. When they're doing gymnastics in Moria, not a single dwarf dies. Oh my god, that was the worst part. That part was so awful. They literally fall like hundreds of feet. And they just like get up from the rubble like we're all good, you know. And then like in the Peter Jackson series, you have like a Gonzorian soldier fall like 7 feet off like a stone parapet, and he's like done for, you know. You're like, oh my god, it's like, come on, so haggard. Did you ever hear about the giant re-edit? They cut it down to one big movie, and apparently it's pretty well done. No, I never watched that. I'd be interested. These players taking their sweet time. They don't want to lose here. They're here for all the marbles. Let's get a teaser. Okay, and a teaser here. There's the jump scare of the armies. Viggo Mortensen said that Jackson was relying too much on CGI, and The Hobbit confirmed his fears. Yeah, man, Viggo's such a good actor. Viggo Mortensen. What were his like? I'm sure some of you guys in chat know, what were Vigo's like big projects he did after Lord of the Rings? I feel like he kind of like chilled out a little bit. I mean, he was in A History of Violence, which was a pretty intense movie. I like that one. God, he was in that movie, I forget what it was recently, which wasn't bad, where he's like a cab driver. It takes place in like the 50s or 60s. I can't remember. Man, I saw it on a plane and I was like half awake, so I don't quite remember. Yeah, he was in Hidalgo. Eastern Promises rules. Oh, that movie was good. Yeah, Green Book. That's the one. Oh, dude, The Road is like... Okay, yeah. Hidalgo, The Road. Yeah, Eastern Promises is so good. That's such a good movie. History of Violence, Eastern Promises, Green Book, Hidalgo. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's doing more indie stuff, from what I can tell. All right. Is it time? Come on, guys. This is bordering on too long here. Let me make sure that you don't have any questions. Sure. Yeah, they can wait for me. No problemo. Still wish he had Nicolas Cage as Aragorn. Oh my god, that would have been the most ridiculous shit ever. How long do I have for the round timers? I mean, I do have a round timers technically running, but we're being pretty relaxed about them today. Yeah, it's always been one of the downfalls of Total War competitive is how long it takes in between matches for people to get their stuff together. Yeah, I feel bad because on one hand you don't want to rush them because it's like that's like such an important element of this game. You know, it's like often more important than the micro and the gameplay. But yeah. All right, so yeah, pretty standard builds. Although there is a war drum, that's pretty cool. War drum with Celestial Guard, Iron Dragon, and also the Bandits of the Silver Roads. Pretty color of the rainbow Demons of Chaos army. We got Slaanesh, Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch. So we literally have every Chaos God represented in this build with a very cheap Herald, which allows you to go wide. Yeah. G.I. Jane. He was in G.I. Jane. Yeah, Eastern Promises was a very intense movie. I really like that one. That was old. Man, that's an old movie. Yeah, you're saying you think you got sick of the limelight, Vigo? No, he was great. He was great. All right, so we're on the battle for Itza. Let's refocus here on the Ham of War. And let's talk about the armies. So looking at Grand Cathay's forces here, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a Jade Warrior battle line into the sunset. And the Jade Warriors are very, very good units. When they have their Harmony, their stat line is pretty insane. So you just line them up and they hold demons all day. Xiao Ming, the Iron Dragon, is going to be doing some of the killing. He does have the Final Transmutation as well as the Breath Attack. So those are both very good. If the demons decide to go with like a blob style of play, then he can punish it. And if they do come in with just, you know, mass amounts of demons, he can use his Dragon's Breath ability right here to cook them pretty well. You have Bandits of the Silver Road, a couple basic Peasant Archers, Celestial Dragon Guard on the flanks, and the dreaded War Drum. All right, the most haggard animations in all of the old world. So here it is. The Zhangu War Drum is going to be providing some nice buffs to nearby units, depending on what it decides to do here. It's going to potentially give some armor, or of course it can give melee attack and reload skill and ITP. Both are viable, and it gives leadership as well. Looking at the Demonic Hordes of Flamaster here, another mighty Polish player, we do have the Soul Grinder of Nurgle, and the Soul Grinder of Nurgle here is going to be dropping some hot bows on the enemy force, I would imagine. Big bombardments from downtown. He hits like a truck. And the rest of the core here is going to be Bloodletters, Bloodletters. Bloodletters are gods here against Cathay. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors, right? Okay, Jade Warrior counters the missiles. The Bloodletters counter the Jade Warriors. The missiles counter the Bloodletters. You know, it goes back and forth. So a lot of it is that dynamic for sure. But yeah, Nurglings and a Soul Grinder. Nurglings for objective capture. We do have the Sour Guts, which are pretty much an auto take. They're very popular, and Chromatic Abominations. Caster is going to be a Herald with Pavane for Rampage, as well as the Lash of Slaanesh. All right. It's time to lash it out. Now, one of the more meta builds, not meta, but demons have used the foot character kind of core. Be'lakor also was very good in this matchup for a long time because he's so hard to kill and he's so disruptive, and he can also fight the Dragon Twins if he needs to. But yeah, ever since his cost increases, he's kind of fallen off in popularity, but I still think he's actually not the worst. Nice Soul Grinder shots. That's going to hurt. So it is able to get a square bombardment on the Jade Warrior Halberds. As Grand Cathay moves up on the objectives, we got some Corn Dogs coming over here. So the Corn Dogs do manage to ninja this objective before the forces of Grand Cathay can get there. Jade Warrior is going to be arriving, and they will have slightly more capture weight than these doggies, but it's still going to take a while to get that one back. So So back in the middle, Breath Attack coming down from the Iron Dragon is able to roast up the Bloodletters. Bloodletters do have 35% spell resist, so probably better to use the Breath Attacks maybe out of the gates to just cook some of the Nurglings and or the Chromatic Abominations, but we will see. And there's going to be a column of Great Long Marauders, and on the backside, the Corn Dogs just hanging out on the point, just trying to prevent the cat for as long as possible. This is a really good tactic. So basically, Jade Warriors have 5 capture weight, and these guys have 4. So if you just park them here, it's going to take the Jade Warriors 15 years to get that objective back. And points are very, very important against Grand Cathay here. So Grand Cathay going to be moving up to engage the demons a little bit. Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, marching in front of his army, yelling commands, and also dropping breath attacks on the demonic forces. And where did he drop that one? On the Sour Guts. It did a little bit of damage, but so far the breath attacks have not been too devastating. And now the demons do sound the horn of war and are going to be engaging on the middle, which is interesting. I think this is a misplay by Flamaster. Engaging the Grand Cathay like on its drum right in the middle is, and where they have Harmony going, is very precarious. Whereas if you maybe try and focus on the side objectives and force Cathay to spread out, that's usually how you see Cathay beaten, but we will see. Also, getting the Chromatic Abominations and the Sour Guts to start shooting at the Zhanggu War Drum would be a very, very smart play considering. So Bloodletters have engaged versus the Harmonious Jade Warriors. The Jade Warriors are going to be a little bit more stalwart than they normally would be. Popcorn Bandits are jumping all over. They're jumping up and down and trying to get through the Jade Warriors, but the Jades are very, very resilient, especially, like I said, with Harmony. On the backside, Chaos Furies of Khorne called in by Flamaster here, and they are used to intercept the Bandits of the Silver Road, but good response from Hasina. Hasina is going to be using the Jade Lancers to come in and get a beautiful charge, intercepting those Chaos Furies, and now we have another Khorne Fury coming out as well. But the Khorne Furies do good damage. Final Transmutation coming down right here. It does nail the Exalted Demonettes, which were called out of reinforcements. Normally, Exalted Demonettes would dominate these forces of Grand Cathay, but being hit by an overcasted Final Transmutation, that's really, really punishing. But even still, they're grinding well. They are being focused by the Peasant Archers, which is a great play here by Hasina. Value trading very even, and now a couple of the Corn Doggos are going to be sneaking into the backfield as the Zhanggu War Drum is forced back. Noxbringer shooting into the archers here, trying to take them down. Not Noxbringer, but basic Soul Grinder, and it does get the break on the Peasant Archers. Iron Dragon, with a nice breath attack, is able to cook some of the Bloodletters here as more of the Popcorn Bandits do move forward, and the Exalted Demonettes continue to get some value. They do break the Longmore Riders here, which is very impressive. Despite being nailed by that magic, they're still able to get it done, and probably will tear apart these Jade Warriors as well. Exalted Demonettes are an amazing unit. They're really good. Definitely in the category of good elite infantry, which is a very, very small field here. So objectives 1 and 2 are owned by Flamaster and the Demons of Chaos. Objective 3 is owned by Grand Cathay. Cathay is definitely going to have to fight hard to get these points back. The Demons have gotten a big swarm here. There's just so many Nurglings and also some Fleshhounds chewing through these Jade Lancers as well as the Halberds. And it just seems like Grand Cathay maybe doesn't have the killing power here to really get through all these demons. And 60 Exalted Demonettes, even though they're in a very tattered state here with only, 57 models and they're at about 25% HP, they're going to rip apart these Jade Warrior Halberds. Jade Warrior Halberds simply won't have the killing power to get through them. So here they come. Oh, they missed their charge. That's unfortunate. They have a charge bonus of 35. Over here, Fury's coming around the back. The Jade Warrior Halberds getting wrecked. The Zhanggu War Drum trying to keep the Cathay battle lines together, providing nice buffs. And Iron Dragon with the breath attack right there. He's trying to clean it up. Couple Jade Warrior Halberds going to be surging forward. We do see the value setting at 42 against 54, but Cathay does not have any shooting online anymore. Shooting is incredibly good against Demons of Chaos. If you can keep it online, it is really good, but easier said than done, right? Bloodletters probably winning their fight against Jade Warriors, and here we do see the Exalted Demonettes getting surrounded and potentially killed, but the Fiend's coming in to help. Fiend's getting a beautiful charge into those Cathay forces, and that is some big shock damage. Fiends, ever since their update, have been super solid, but there are Halberds here as well. So if the Halberds can get some anti-large attacks in, maybe. And Cathay is holding. They have the War Drum. It didn't hear no bell. It didn't hear no drum. That is for sure. So currently sitting at 557 HP, buffing up all those units, and they continue to grind through the demons. And maybe Cathay is going to be resurgent here as their holding power and the demons' kind of flimsy nature is starting to really take hold. Iron Dragon also getting on top of the Soul Grinder. And you have to remember the demons don't have like a big powerful demon prince or demon lord that's going to be able to really just wreck a fight. And Grand Cathay looks like it's gotten some momentum back. They got some breathing room. Demons are up in value, but remember, demons crumble, and crumbling isn't tracked in the damage meter, which is another haggard oversight we have to live with here. But the Iron Dragon continues to attack in. He gets a really cost-effective attack into Flamaster's Herald of Slaanesh. And it looks like Cathay might be back on the menu. Their resilience, and this War Drum is so big. The fact that this thing has been giving a big melee attack buff, +8 and ITP to all these Cathay troops, like, having a Jade Warrior with 33 melee attack is a huge buff. It also gives leadership too, right? So this drum is single-handedly probably winning a lot of these fights. And Cathay looks like they're on the winning side now. We do see some more Fiends being called in. Soul Grinder pulling back, Fiends of Slaanesh grinding right there. He really needs to finish off this drum. It's a big problem. It's, I don't know how he's going to get it. Maybe get this Herald of Slaanesh and kind of slip in there. Just like kind of come on in and jump on that thing, because it is just doing so much work. The radius of the drum is pretty substantial too, right? Let's see if it'll show us the radius when we mouse over it. Not quite. Yeah, you can see that radius right there. That is just literally buffing everything. The force multiplying effects of that drum are just bonkers right now. And that was what I was talking about earlier. The Demons of Chaos fought Cathay on their terms, like in the center where their harmony and their drum was strong. If Flamaster had just played the sides a little bit more and forced Cathay to spread out with their very, immobile build, I think that's how you win it. But even still, Flamaster is a solid player and is making a good fight of this and keeping it close. But Grand Cathay, I think, is starting to take over this game, ladies and gentlemen. And the drum is getting it. Yeah, he's rolling. Look at these Ox, dude. These things are just true chads. And the drummer, she's pulling on that drum there. What is he doing? Oh, he's like doing some like dragon prayers or something. I have no idea. But yeah, that is very bad that thing is kept alive. Objective in danger of flipping. Fiends of Slaanesh, super cost effective. But Jade Warrior Halberds with a melee attack buff are going to be able to cut them to pieces. And man, Flamaster really needs to finish off that Zhangu War Drum. Come on. Oh, it's just doing so much work. On the high ground here, we do see some Nurglings called out and some Chaos Furies of Khorne, which will probably win the fight against these Peasant Horsemen in a 2v1. And I think that Hasina knows this and is going to be retreating back right now. Here we do see Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, dropping another breath attack right there, getting quite a bit of work done. And the Dragon Emperors chosen are holding firm. Peasants and Jade Warriors on their way out. And it looks like maybe, just maybe, the Herald is going to find the kill here. It's sneaking around. I don't know why else it would be running over here. Oh, come on. Kill the War Drum. 424. The drum's in the deep indeed. As there's a bit of a rout here, and we do see the push and the pull of the game going. The Demons definitely have really good sustained fighting with these Fiends. They're great in constant combat. I honestly think if you killed this War Drum, this fight would start to turn. If you just like found a way to get this thing down, it has 400 HP, 100 leadership. Man, that thing is unbreakable. Oh, that's so savage. Look at that. It just will not go quietly into the good night. So we do see some Flesh Doggies called out. Grand Cathay does have the triple cap though on the Demons of Chaos right now, which is pretty brutal. A couple Peasant Horsemen look like they're going to be running up there to maybe intercept the Fleshhounds. Maybe 2v1 they could win that fight, but we do see some Fiends bouncing over, intercepting to rip down some of these Horsemen. We do see a couple Horseman models getting picked off there by the Fiends. And looking at this fight here, the Jade Lancers start to get punished, but Grand Cathay is up on points pretty considerably. They literally have heard no drum whatsoever. The drum is still going super, super hard. And up on Objective 1, it is going to be the Fiends of Slaanesh. Just, and Fleshhounds of Khorne chewing through those units. So Cathay does lose the cavalry fight here. Maybe an opportunity for the Demons to come and get an objective back, which they really need. The Demons are hemorrhaging points right now. And Cathay is an okay Helm's Deep faction. They're kind of slow, but if they can get onto an objective and hold with Harmony and their drums especially, they can get there for a long time. You see all these units for Grand Cathay? They would have been broken like 2 minutes ago if it weren't for this drum. The drum gives them +8 leadership, I think, right? Is it +8 or +10? Let's go ahead and double check here on the Zhangu War Drum. Yeah, it's +8, which is a pretty big difference when units are this low. It's kind of like fighting a Grail Relic for Bretonnia when those units just like hold for like 10 years. So the drum's going to be moving back. We do see a good Rampage. Fascination being used by the Demons of Chaos. And it's going to be pulling him in. Oh, big final transmutation, though, from the Iron Dragon. That was massive. Okay, that comes out of nowhere and does a ton of damage. Melts the Furies, melts the Nurglings, pounds the Fleshhounds, also hits the Herald of Slaanesh. And the Zhangu War Drum just cackling. Look at it. It's just going. It's rolling dirty in the deep. So Objective Uno, maybe going to be flipping to the Demons. The Hounds might be able to get that one. Down here, we do see some Nurglings moving over to fight Peasant Long Spearmen. Peasant Long Spearmen will lose to Nurglings in a fight, but it takes like 45 minutes, so I don't think there's any serious danger there. And Grand Cathay is enduring. It's standing there menacingly. It is. 335, it's so low. I sincerely think if Flamaster had killed this drum like 3 or 4 minutes ago, he wins this game. This fight would have gone so different in the middle. The melee attack buff is actually making Jade Lancers have some killing power, which is something they don't normally have. And on top of that, the leadership. It's so cost effective here. So the Demons are melting under the Grand Cathay grind. Iron Dragon is also a much big game changer than the Slaanesh Herald. He's a really good fighter, and he's going to be able to go into Dragon form in the late game if he needs to really pound some of those units out. Down here, we do see the Nurglings get intercepted by Peasant-powered Horsemen. So they're going to be surrounded and killed. Nurglings probably losing out on that fight. And the Demons of Chaos have melted. Oh, Iron Dragon time, yes. The Dragon Emperor's chosen. So cool, man. Total War is like visually such a freaking awesome game. All right, so the Dragon's going to be descending from the skies. We'll be landing to do Glorious Battle. The Herald of Slaanesh, I'm surprised this thing is still alive too. I think Cathay, one of the few mistakes they've made this game is not trying to kill this Herald. I think the Dragon maybe could have hunted it quite a bit earlier. A little bit of lag here in the fourth quarter of the game, but I think we're okay. This objective captured by the Demons of Chaos. Demons are now split pushing, which is probably what they should have been doing a little earlier, rather than fighting the drum bump and grind here. 135 HP! Oh man, that feels so bad. That thing is just doing such work. And I don't think the demons have anything nearby to kill it. We get triple Nurglings called out, including the Frolickers Bubonic. Looks like they're going to get that objective. But now the demons are going to have to win the middle fight. And this is like the worst case scenario, right? Cathay is going to be allowed to Helm's Deep on the middle objective with a Zhangu War Drum still functional. Jade Lancer's called in. Just let the demons take the side objectives, although it's going to take a long time to win still. So Cathay has to win a grind for some time. I guess if you have the extra resources, get those Peasant Horsemen over there. Value trading is very, very even here. We do see the Soul Grinder of Nurgle getting burned down. Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, probably solos this army of demons here. He does magic damage. He hits super freaking hard. Jade Lancers do arrive. And the War Drum is finally down. Oh my god, it's finally down. So the War Drum has fallen, and now Cathay's army is going to be losing leadership, melee attack, a lot of stats from that support piece, which has been absolutely powerful this game. Yep, nice use of the Peasant Horseman for the Ninja Cap. Objective 1 is going to be taken by Cathay, which is basically going to seal the deal for the demons. They had a little cheeky attempt at the side caps here, but there's no way. Iron Dragon is just too Giga-Chad, and him and his powerful jawline here are going to take apart this Herald of Slaanesh. And yeah, it's getting bonked on by the Dragon, although the melee defense of the Herald does hold up at 55. On the side, we do see some scary Fleshhounds coming out. And a head-on charge, I'm sure, a full surround here will lead to the end of the Fleshhound. So I think those 3 cav units are going to be able to get her done, in the words of the great Larry the Cable Guy. Side objective here being held by the Spear, so we do see some Peasant Long Spearmen holding on to that objective. Meanwhile, objective Uno here, Fleshhounds of Khorne desperately trying to get this one back, but the Grand Cathay Peasants have risen. They're well fed, and they're not like the Bretonnian Peasants, and they are able to fight off some pretty powerful demonic units with substantial numbers. I mean, Peasant Horsemen for Grand Cathay are really not bad. 26, 26, 28 is a very respectable stat line with a charge bonus of 36. It's going. Yeah, the Zhangu War Drum was the carry this game. Pretty cool. We've had a very nice set of games today with very interesting matchups. I've been enjoying this one. The drum lives on in our hearts. It does. It was banging some super sweet beats. And it reminds me, so do you guys remember when China hosted the Olympics, the Beijing Olympics? Their opening ceremony with that drum show was so cool. Those were like the Zhangu War Drums, yeah. That was epic. China's drum opening that they had at the Beijing Olympics. It was super cool. But right here, I think one of my favorite Olympic intros, yeah, the Chinese drum intro was epic, but also at the French, at the Paris Olympics, Gojira, that song they performed, Asira Sira, I think is what it was called, Gojira's performance, that was so freaking epic. I still listen to that song. They put it up on Spotify finally, like a studio version. I'm like, yes! But that is so good. Anyways, GG, well played. Game was basically over, so we were just ranting about stuff there. And yeah, that was a great Cathay performance. Really good demon play also, but the demons made 2 colossal blunders in my opinion. Number 1, not focusing that drum down when it had like 100 HP and was very, very easy to snipe at that point. And number 2, split pushing. You should have just ignored the middle and pull apart Grand Cathay. Never go into their Harmony box if you don't have to. The Flamaster was a good enough player that he almost still pulled it off, but Hasina played very well, kept that drum alive, and kept Cathay's hope alive. All right. GG, well played. So, now we have another match coming up. Let's look at the value. Iron Chad, 169, 3,700 on the Iron Dragon. Zhangu War Drum hanging in there. But yeah, Iron Dragon carried and the drum carried as well. And yeah, look at that, 1,600 on these Jade Lancers. That's not something you see terribly often. For the Demons, Bloodletters did all right. We had the Sour Guts at 1,300. Exalted Demonettes, an awesome, awesome unit. And we see the Fiends performing as usual. All right. So let's get this, and let's go into this lobby here. Go to Charx's lobby. I think I remember his password. Yes. All right, GG, well played. Let's see how the brackets are looking, by the way. These guys are going to load in and be ready to go very quickly. High Elves versus Tzeentch. Oh, evil. Centaurs of Tzeentch coming. Here they come. Yeah. But that song was very good. The Gojira, it was great. Yeah. The Australian breakdancer lady, that was so freaking haggard. Oh my god. I felt like I was watching Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, but you know, whatever, who cares? It's fun to have something like that every now and then to mix it up, right? Yeah. Okay. And it looks like we're good to go. High Elves versus Tzeentch is going to be our next match of the day. Shout out to these players for waiting and making this possible. And we're going to have a semifinal game after this, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a look at the brackets here in a minute. We will look. Hey, everything's good, Gabe. Thanks for joining. Centaurs of Tzeentch cringe. Is that what you're saying? Is the War Drum on Spotify too? It should be. Oh, it should be. Hey, Nomi, no worries. Good luck at work, my friend. It will be here for you all day. We have a couple more hours in this tournament, probably. The double elimination tournaments tend to go long. So I suspect we'll probably be around the 3-hour mark. Well, that's not even that long of a tournament. She apparently got the worst Olympic score in the history of all Olympics, but I haven't confirmed that. I'm pretty sure she got, the breakdancer lady got like zeros on everything. So, I mean, that's pretty rough. I mean, I'm sure people have been disqualified, which is worse than zeros, I suppose. So the winner of this is going to go to play Grand Cathay, which we will cast. On the bottom side, the games are going, which looks great. And our mighty champion, the GOAT of all Total War, Professor Pone, has been defeated. His opponent must have been really lucky. I don't know how they did that. All right, guys. So, taking a look at the build of Charix, we got Shadow Warriors in the gray. What the hell is this? Shadow Warriors, ROR, they're like so haggard. Charix is a wild man. He brings very, very unique builds. So he is here with the gray. We got White Lines of Crace and a Mage of High Magic who's going to be rocking Tempest as well as Apotheosis and Hand of Glory. Tempest is pretty good against Tzeentch Flyers. So if they call in these Screamers to try and fight Imric, you just Tempest them and shoot them with archers. It's pretty good. Silverins, White Lines of Crace, Imric, Lord of Dragons. He's very, very good fighter. Very disruptive and powerful. And looking over here at the forces of Hitman Hippo. So these are two players who have both won major events. Incredibly strong players. Hitman Hippo was won one of the huge tournaments we had recently with Creative Assembly, one of the official events. And he also was a contender in the recent season finals. He didn't win in the recent season finals. I think he got second place. I can't remember. He was in the top 4, but yeah, very strong. So he's got a Metal Sorcerer with Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation, Soul Grinder to poke Imric. There is going to be an Exalted Hero of Tzeentch, Anti-Large to try and fight Imric as well. There's going to be Zangors up on the high ground, and in the bushes we have Chosen of Tzeentch. Oh, double Chosen of Tzeentch. How erect is this? Oh, yeah. Double Chosen of Tzeentch, baby. Both these players, and these are, I would say these are two of my favorite players to watch. And they're just both great people, too, which is awesome. Good sports, great people. And their builds are off meta. We're seeing the gray here. We're seeing double Chosen of Tzeentch. This is like some seriously wild stuff. So it looks like Chadrick is going to be moving down, and he is going to be going after the Exalted Hero of Tzeentch, and the Exalted Hero is going to be forced back, getting pounded pretty heavily. Soul Grinder going to be turning about to attack Imric, and it looks like now the forces of Tzeentch going to be moving in. Maybe Centaur is being called in, or will it be Screamers? Oh, it's an Exalted Hero of Tzeentch on horse, another one. Okay. So going to be trying to overwhelm Imric here. Now, do the Elves have any blob punishing tools? It doesn't look like it. We do see the Gray as well as the Shadow Warrior shooting in, and they're getting some respectable damage. Imric is doing great work here against the Exalted Hero of Tzeentch, but he's also starting to take some damage as well. We get the Soul Grinder piled in, and there is going to be another Exalted Hero, so I think that is going to be a forced retreat here for Imric. Now, remember, Imric does have healing, and I suspect from here, Hitman Hippo is going to start spamming out Centaurs of Tzeentch because they're just so dominant against the armor pieces, like White Lines of Grace will get wrecked. Imric is going to be getting an Apotheosis. He lost the Catholic in the finals last time. That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it went to game 5 too, I remember, and it was Chaos Dwarves versus something. It was like Chaos Dwarves versus Dark Elves, I think was the game 5 game. That was a really good season finals. If you guys missed that, highly recommend going back to check it out. That was a top tier tournament, some of the best games we've had in Total War in a long time. Down on Objective 1, Zangor's hanging on to that one firmly. This objective being contested, it is owned by Tzeentch. So currently Tzeentch does have the double cap, so we can see Hitman Hippo just chill out. Here he's going to be dropping the Soul Grinder into... Why is he throwing Soul Grinder shots into the White Lions? That's probably a misclick. You're going to want to be poking Imric basically the entire game to try and keep him honest. But the Elves are out caps right now. We do see Hitman Hippo with the double objective. He has Objective 3, and he does also have Objective 1 up here on the high ground. And looking back here, the Chaos Lord's going to be hiding in the bushes. What is Hitman Hippo saving up for? Is it going to be Centaurs of Tzeentch? It is, yeah. They're probably one of the best units in the entire game. You look at their stats and you're like, oh, they're all right. But there's something about their damage which just isn't right. It's so high. It hits so incredibly hard. And we're going to see if he can make good use of them. I mean, they are a little bit squishy, though. They only have 35 armor and low melee defense. So if they are focused by archers and or caught up with spears, they can definitely suffer. That's one of the weaknesses of that unit. But overall, Tzeentch is playing a very cagey playstyle. And where is he going with the Javelins of Poseidon? Okay, he's now throwing at the Mage of High Magic, and he does get a decent little snipe there. The Mage takes some HP damage. Zangors for Hitman Hippo are going to be pulling back. And Hitman Hippo playing a very cagey game. Looks like he's just looking for opportunities to poke and soften up his opponent a little bit. Soul Grinder does get decent contact into the Mage here. And now we do see the Chaos Sorcerer. This is a good play. He's baiting with the Chaos Sorcerer. He's trying to bait ammunition out from Charix. Because then he could just regenerate these shields, and it's basically just free real estate. So now he's going to retreat before he takes any real damage, and he's going to go regenerate those shields. However, he did take some actual HP damage, so a little bit precarious right there. That is for sure. Retreating back are the Chaos Sorcerers, so they're going to be fleeing the scene. The Chosen have not moved out of the bushes yet, and there are also some Zangors here. The double Exalted Hero is going to be coming down to try and screen out Imrik, and we do get a Centaur of Tzeentch called out here, but it is going to be focused heavily. I mean, there's a lot of pincushion archers here. They're gonna put some hurt on these Centaurs, which probably want to pull back, like pull these Centaurs back and regenerate their shields, like get all the way back here. Tzeentch is really good at that, right? Like a lot of the Elven value can be mitigated. Like this is how much? 800 HP or something worth of shields? Yeah, it's 767. These guys are going to be rocking 688. That's a lot of value, right? That can be mitigated, that the elves have accrued so far. I think Tzeentch is just trying to do that, and the points are close enough, right? Like Tzeentch doesn't need to rush. They can just kind of play cat and mouse and look for opportunities and get a critical mass of Centaurs of Tzeentch out before they push. There's enough to keep Imrik honest also. Imrik can be poked down by the Exalted Heroes. If he does land, the two Exalted Heroes can probably deal with him. We do see the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch throwing his dreaded Poseidon Javelin and the Heralds of the Wind. Charix going to be moving across. And here we go. He's maybe going to be landing here. We do see the Soul Grinder. It does juke under, and now the Screamers are called out, the Shrieking Sky Rays. So if he had committed to that landing attack, then the Shrieking Sky Rays would have been very good. But they do end up getting melted a little bit, taking some more HP damage from the Shadow Warriors. Charix poking, trying to keep the shields down. Shields, though, have regenerated on several units. High ground objective still owned by the Changer of Ways. And are the Chosen moving out of the bushes yet? They're not quite. There will come a time when he's going to have to move out. So we got double Chosen of Tzeentch. We got one, and there's another one back here. Chosen are just straight up one of the coolest looking units in all of Total War, I think. Their aesthetic is so rad. Especially Tzeentch. Yeah, Tzeentch looks very, very cool. So, Objective Uno. We do see the Hordes of Chaos moving up there. So the Zangor is going to be securing that, making sure the High Elves don't have any play for that. The High Elves are more than happy to just kind of sit here, though. They can just sit and control objectives 3 and 2 and just hang out. We do see a slight value lead for Charix, but I would say the game is pretty much dead even with the Protoss shields coming into play, as well as the healing from the High Elves. So I would say it's pretty much in the same family. Soul Grinder poking out, getting that Archmage a little bit lower. We see the Shrieking Sky Rays coming over to chase away Imrik, as Imrik just continues his patrol. Ammunition looking a little bit low on these Shadow Warriors, so that certainly feels a little bit bad for Charix. Have they paid for themselves? I think just having them save their ammo. Like, there's not really too much sense in even fighting Tzeentch right here. We do see a Tempest going down, which is interesting. So Tempest does get popped on the Shrieking Sky Rays, and they're probably going to land on the ground. If Imrik comes over and attacks them, they're going to land, right? Yeah, you see the Shrieking Sky Rays going down to the ground, which is a smart play, but not before they get brought down pretty low. Lose about half their HP, so that wasn't a terrible poke by the High Elves. A little bit of Tempest, it's not terribly expensive, and getting a good quality unit down to half health, I think is going to be pretty good. In the meantime, the Mage of High Magic is getting popped by that Soul Grinder. Very much land battle kind of tactics here from Hitman Hippo. Like that long, protracted, like Tzeentch kiting style of play without engaging. But in Dom, it's riskier, because in Dom, you do get punished by the objectives. Whereas in land battle, this is the reason why Tzeentch is S tier, is because they can engage, use their shields as a sponge, pull back, regenerate, give no value while accruing value. But here in Dom, it's a much different beast. Like every second that his opponent gets points is going to start adding up, and he'll pay the troll toll eventually. So it looks like he's setting up shop for the push now. We see Zangors coming out, probably going to like loop around this area. And where did the Centaurs go? He had some Centaurs of Tzeentch over there. They've since pulled back and regenerated their shields. The Mage of High Magic is alive, but it is being hunted by the Soul Grinder. Soul Grinder is running out of ammunition as well. So we do see the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch getting a little bit poked up here. Is he going to throw? He's thinking about it. He's moving in. And the Mage, the Sorcerer Lord, he's sitting. No final transmutations have been cast. Tzeentch, as a matter of fact, hasn't used any magic yet. We haven't seen any Plague of Rust. We haven't seen anything used at all. So he's going to be saving it for the final fight. But Charix is slowly getting there. He's at 600. His opponent at 546. So the High Elves have officially passed the Forces of Chaos on points as of about a minute ago. A little bit of poke coming out from the Heralds of the Wind. Maybe going to be shooting at the Shrieking Sky Rays, who knows. Could see another Tempest, although the High Mage is too beat up. Arguably, I mean, I don't know. That's unfortunate. It's going to have to sit back. And now the Forces of Chaos are advancing out of the woods. The Tim the Wilder tactics are on display here. The Chosen have advanced out. The Zangors are moving, and the Asura are going to need to be ready to deal with this onslaught of heretics. Obviously, using Imric to get big breath attacks on the Chosen would be a god tier play. And we do see him landing there, attacking Exalted Hero. Wow, he gets a double hit. He also hits the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, a little bit of a splash attack there. Centaurs of Tzeentch coming in, and Imric is going to be retreating back. He gets nailed with the Plague of Rust. Oh, man, he could have been in big trouble. But Charax using his Shadow Warriors to shoot into the advancing Centaurs. Quite good. And the Plague of Rust is going to be wasted magic. So, unfortunately, the trigger is pulled a little bit early, but he does get a final transmutation as well, as the Dragon Horn is sounded, and the Hordes of Hell are upon us. So here they come. Zangor's advancing out, Chosen advancing out, and look at that. Oh, man, really good micro by Hitman Hippo. He moves through the weakness in the formation with a pencil formation of Zangors and is able to get in and compromise, not compromise, but pressure the archers. But Charax, of course, very well prepared for this. He does have he even has the Polish color scheme. That's really funny. But he's got the White Lions of Krace with their great weapons, which they should dominate Zangors in combat. And the Chosen are now going to get in combat here. Chosen will crush pretty much any of these Elven units. The only Elven unit that could really give Chosen the business would be the Swordmasters. We haven't seen them yet. Charax also using his archers here. So he's using his Shadow Warriors and the Grey to shoot into the Centaurs of Tzeentch. So the Centaurs of Tzeentch not able to find any good fights yet. We also see the Zangors here being dominated by the Fireborn. So Charax has the Fire Chads out. And yeah, they're getting a lot of good fights. It seems the Centaurs of Tzeentch are having problems getting those really juicy engagements because of the nice missile support that is in the secondary line. Chosen have gotten into the secondary backfield here, though, and are chasing down the Shadow Warriors as well as the Grey, but a couple Narnia lines could maybe turn on them and do some good damage. Looking at the value trading here, we're very even, and we do see Charax maybe thinking about a breath attack right there. We'll have to see. Hey, thank you, Melody. Greatly appreciate it. And I think there's going to be one. So he's wanted up the dragon. You know, he ate some burritos today, so he's certainly got some belches ready. And here comes one. He drops it on the Chaos Warriors. Not quite as cost effective as using it on like the Chosen or something else like that, but still, Chaos Warriors are a viable target. So big grind in the front as the High Elves are trying to hold back the tides of chaos. Not going to be easy though. We got Chosen mixed in. We have the Soul Grinder, which apparently can breathe Warp Fire, which is kind of cool. And a big final transmutation going down once again. Beautiful cast. It nails the Lion Chariots, the Fireborn, Imric. That was a god tier final transmutation. Really, really good stuff. But is it going to be enough to break through the High Elf lines? Up on the top side, we see Zangors losing their fight here, and it looks like there's going to be a Tzeentch army ability going down right here, so he's using it to try and nail the Sylvarans and the Narnia warriors there. Here we have some Tzeentch halberds moving in, and it looks like the Tzeentch army ability is not going to do that much damage. A bit of a swing and a miss. Really good dodge by Charax. He scatters the units, he moves this way, and basically takes no damage from that really, really important ability. Imric, however, is in some danger. He gets into the fight, but the Exalted Heroes of Tzeentch, that core of units, is doing a lot of work. We see both of them are pretty healthy. The Soul Grinder, that is like 4 or 5 single entities, which are going to be able to bully Imric. Despite him being one of the more powerful duelists in the entire game, it's a dangerous one for him. And we also see Chaos Spawn coming out. That is a summon, though, from the Exalted Hero, or excuse me, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. He has the Staff of Change. On the backside, it is going to be Chosen of Tzeentch against Sylvaran Guard. Talk about wet noodles versus elite infantry. The Chosen have actually not lost a single model, and the Sylvaran Guard are being absolutely massacred, which makes sense. Sylvaran Guard's damage output is not great to begin with, and when you're working against Chosen with like obscene armor, Protoss shields, and really, really high melee defense, Sylvarans are going to get folded like a piece of paper. Centaurs of Tzeentch are moving, and we do see some Narnia lines coming, but it looks like the Hitman Hippo is going to be intercepting those bad boys, but he lapses on the charge. Weird. Oh, he dropped his micro there. And now Charax is going to be capitalizing on this. He's going to be countercharging with the Silver Helms as well as the Narnia lines and Imric. What a scrappy game between these two players. But looking at the points, we do see it. It's not a triple cap situation. Currently, Hitman Hippo would win with just 2. Sylvaran Guard and the War Lines of Krace continue to hold on the objective here as the Narnia Chariots, very beat up from that final transmutation, also going to be hammered by the Centaurs of Tzeentch. And the Hero Core has been super clutch, but big breath attack coming in from the Lord of Dragons. Able to go down the pipe and nail those Chaos Warriors. Here we do see Imric flying about. So you're going to attack here. Able to defeat the Centaurs of Tzeentch on this side. Narnia lines also chewing through a lot of these units. So it does look like the Elves are kind of focalizing their effort here to try and secure objective 3 to make sure they don't at least lose that ground. Because the Hordes of Hell, the Heretics of Chaos, have won on the middle. We just have a couple white lines of Craze still fighting, but they're fighting against Chosen, Zangors, and Chaos Warrior Halberds, all of whom are pretty damn good fighters. And there is a big Soul Grinder here, which is a good melee fighter too, and does cause terror, so that's going to be a tricky one. Imric trying to stabilize the backfield, Shrieking Skyrays getting hit with the Lord of Dragons debuff, putting their melee attack down to 0, which is very, very good. A couple Popcorn Bandits shooting into the Silver Helms, which are going to be retreating back. We're going to see if Imric and his Narnia Alliance are going to be able to deal with these Centaurs. On the side point, Spears versus Chaos Warriors, and the Chosen lost. Man, these Chosen fought these Silverin. They lost 2 models in the entire fight. That is so brutal. Talk about cost effective, right? I mean, because the Chosen only costs about twice as much, and that's a very, very good performance from them. Narnia Alliance fighting it out. Looks like Charix is falling behind. He does have healing, but Tzeentch also has shield healing. There's going to be another final transmutation coming down here, and we can certainly see why Hitman Hippo got 2nd place in the last season finals, and it was a very, very close one, very close to winning it, but the Catholic did pull that one out. But I think Tzeentch has probably got this one. Imric, I don't know if he's going to be able to put this game on his back. The 2 Exalted Heroes of Tzeentch and the Soul Grinder probably going to keep him honest. The Chosen, who would have thought the Chosen would be such a clutch unit here too? I mean, now they're going to be getting this objective, leading to a triple cap here. We have another Chaos Warrior, which will, of course, also trade OK into Silver and Guard for the same reasons that Chosen are good. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to be it. I think Hitman Hippo has clutched it here in this match, but that Charix is not eliminated from the tournament. It is double elimination, so Charix will be relegated to the bottom bracket, where he will have the opportunity to come back, you know, maybe go to the drawing board again if he meets his individual in the grand finals once again. And that is going to be GG well played. There's absolutely 0 chances for Charix and the High Elves here. Imric, Lord of Dragons, is on the run, and Hitman Hippo has gotten her done. Get her done. And objective 3, he needs to flip that one, really just to send the message home. A couple spears up on the high ground. Silverins are going to be trying for that. Charix desperately trying to stay in this game, you know, playing the side points where he can. But yeah, with Imric dying here, Imric is going to go down. This build by Hitman Hippo was like hard designed to counter Imric. It had double anti-large hero, anti-large javelin, hero sniping with final transmutation. It basically had all the tools you need to take down Imric. And Imric came in, and as expected, he was taken down, and the Lord of Dragons has fallen. The Centaurs celebrating, certainly going to be having some revelry and celebration at their camp tonight, I would imagine. Centaurs, I'm sure, get pretty crunk. Objective 3 taken here, and yeah, there's no way. Hitman Hippo's going to be passing him in points soon. We do see Plague of Rust going down in the Fireborn. Fireborn called back in, but Centaurs should be able to swarm them with Screamers as well. Shrieking Skyrays, anti-large fighters. That's going to be enough. But yeah, Charix gets the side point, but I'm surprised he hasn't left the game yet. Yeah, Chosen are not a bad unit. Like Elite Infantry and Total War like have niche applications, but if used correctly with a lot of finesse, they can actually be good. That's something that's cool about Total War. Whereas in tabletop, Elite Infantry are like absolute trash, which is such a bummer. But you know, it is what it is. So coming across here are the Centaurs of Tzeentch, and there is the Plague of Rust going down in the Book of Secrets. He gets the Buna too. All right, guys, that is it. GG, well played. Good match. Now Charix will be sent to the bottom bracket, and Hitman Hippo will continue to spread change and corruption across all the lands with Tzeentch on the top bracket. Really good build though, 2,500. His final transmutations were so freaking brutal that game too. He nailed huge blobs over and over. Soul Grinder did good, Exalted Heroes did good. Yeah, what's not to love? He didn't even, like, the Centaurs were good, but they weren't like that bonkers that game. And pretty cool to see Shadow Warriors in the gray and all those different units too. That was very fun. All right, guys, so let's see what games we got to cast here. So I'm going to refresh. And now we have Grand Cathay versus Tzeentch on the semifinals. We could cast that. The bottom bracket games are going. Charix is going to be waiting. Winner of 2. Yeah, so Charix is going to be where? Yeah, he'll be playing Outer Reach on the bottom. So we've already done enough High Elf games today. The remaining factions we have here are Tzeentch, High Elves, Grand Cathay, Dwarves, Demons of Chaos, and I don't know what these 2 players are playing, but I think those are the remaining factions that we have. So we will do Hitman Hippo versus his next opponent here. Hitman Hippo versus, who's he playing here? Let me make sure we got the right old person there, and it's going to be Hastina. Okay. All right. I will cast yours. All good. All right. No problem, no problem. Okay, so we have a drop. Need to drop somebody here. Here's Second Elves and Cathay. Yeah, well, they made it. They made it pretty far. They're doing some work here today. Cathay usually doesn't do super well, so this is interesting. Why pick the Sorcerer Lord over a Herald of Tzeentch? The Sorcerer Lord is tankier. He also has the stat. He can summon a unit of Chaos Spawn, so that's what you're doing it for. He's tankier, and he gets the summon Chaos Spawn, which is pretty cool. Got it. Okay. And let's see. Let's refresh this. See how the brackets look. That's been reported. So yes, then we will move on through there. And Flamaster needs to be dropped. So I will drop you. All right. Very cool. It's pretty close. The bottom bracket isn't even that far behind. We will cast this, and probably by the time we finish with Hitman Hippo versus Hastina, we will have our bottom bracket quarterfinal game, and then we can roll from there. Players obviously get their second chance at life here. So Hitman Hippo has his lobby here. Let's join that. And here we go. Stream's still going. Yeah, we're not even close to finishing. I mean, we're kind of close-ish, I guess. Let me take a look and show you. So if we're looking at the brackets for today's tournament, we have Hitman Hippo versus Hastina here. So this is going to be a Tzeentch versus Cathay, which is fun. It's a kind of a thematic one that you get in one of the first cinematic trailers. You have that one going. And on the bottom side, we have a couple games. Charix and Outer Region are battling it out. So Charix has been relegated to the bottom bracket. And then we have B6 versus Via Anime. This player drops, so whoever wins this will be advancing on to round 15 to face the winner of Charix and Outer Region. And then the loser of this game, Hitman Hippo and Hastina, will be relegated to the bottom bracket, and they're going to get a second life. So we could see multiple, we could see rematches. This format, double elimination, it's a thing. You get the rematches. So sound was off on your end, yeah. Oh, so you were just muted there. Yeah, that's funny. Well, this should be fun. I don't know what to expect here. Centaurs of Tzeentch will be absolutely devastating here. I don't think the map is Itza. Yeah, we're doing one of our newer maps, which is Sklandir's Cave by Bob That Builder. Shout out to our boy Bob. Bob truly is our builder. Bob has made so many of our good maps. Yeah, so many good maps. GG, slow start, but stunning overwhelm. Yeah, it was great. Chosen were awesome, man. Gotta love it. So tomorrow is Saturday, right? Yeah, so tomorrow I'm thinking of hosting a tournament in either Age of Mythology or Warcraft 3. And if we can't get enough numbers for either of those, we could also do an Age of Empires 4 tournament. Yeah, I don't know. Total War has... Lizards are good in Old World. Yeah, they're not bad. They're fine. I mean, they have some cool tools. Let's go take a look real quick, actually. We have some time. Lizardmen are a faction I haven't really explored in the Old World at all. So let's go look and see. So Lizardmen, here they are. Okay, so let's see what kind of units they have here. So they get Asara Scar Veteran. If we put him on a Carnosaur, how jacked is he on a Carnosaur? So, okay, he's strength 5, toughness 5, which is pretty good, but he only has 2 wounds, which is weird. But then the Carnosaur should give him like +4 wounds. Yeah, so he's a 6 wound monster. Good weapon skill, 4 attacks is pretty standard. Obsidian blades, yeah, it's just like gives him that. I don't even know what items the lizards have. I haven't looked at any of the lizardman stuff. It seems like they don't have too many items. Yeah, and then what else do you have? Slan. What are like Slan special abilities? Arcane Shield, so they have 5+ ward. Cold-blooded, okay, they can be better against terror and stuff. Slan have flying? They're fast, fly 8, man. Lore of Lustria, okay, they have a unique lore of magic. Oh shit, Slan are large targets? That's terrible. Oh, that's bad. That means that Slan are you just gonna... Oh, they can also be a BSB. That's kind of cool that your Slan can be your battle standard bearer too. But yeah, the fact that Slan are large targets is very problematic, I think. That's dangerous. What about their core infantry? How good are Saris? Strength 4, toughness 4, pretty similar to Chaos Warriors. They do have shield wall, which is a good rule, and they also have thrusting spear, so they can fight in multiple ranks. I suppose it's not bad. The spectator faction needs a buff. It does. It does, Master. Thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate it. Special units. What about their... Okay, 160 points for a Bastiladon. It's... How many wounds does it have? It's only got 4 wounds. Wow, that thing sucks, I think. Oh, it has impact hits, pervious defenses. I mean, I feel like... Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look through this. I haven't really looked at Lizards in tabletop. They're a faction that I've never been interested in myself. I haven't played them yet. I played in 5 tabletop tournaments for Old World so far. And I have not run into Lizardmen yet. I haven't seen anybody playing them. On our guard for big toads. Okay. Oh, yeah. So the fact that Slan are large target makes it super easy for them to get in line of sight of their spells, too. That's kind of an interesting point. The large target, yeah, it's a double-edged blade, though. I guess they do have a 5-up ward and a lot of wounds. Oh, Lizardmen have great models, because you just use the Age of Sigmar models. They're freaking awesome. Yeah, their model range for Age of Sigmar. Have you guys seen the new Lizard models? They're pretty awesome. All right, let's pull it up real quick here. Lizardmen and Skaven both have great models. All right, let's go here and go to Age of Sigmar and go to Order and Seraphon. Yeah, like look, here's the new Croxagores. You got the new Battletoad here. The updated Saurus Warriors look really nice. They're a little tricky to rank up on square bases, but honestly, they look great. So you got Saurus, you got a lot of new models. Like, look how freaking good these lizard models are. This guy's awesome. Look at that Skink Priest, whatever the hell he is. Then you have a Salamander here. Like, look at this Salamander. Oh, that model's rad. Yeah, Age of Sigmar definitely did a good job with the Lizardmen revamp. And what's so cool is, like, if you're a Warhammer Fantasy player, you just use all these models. Like, they're basically the same size, and they just look better. You could just use all these, and yeah, they have some of the old models still, but the old models honestly don't look bad at all. Like, here's this is Krokar from Warhammer Fantasy Battles, but the model looks great, so you could just use him. But that's Krokar. He's got his spear and everything, and his Robo Gauntlet. Looks pretty great. Yeah, Lizardmen are easy to collect. They're very, very available. They're really expensive, I agree. Do you think Lizardmen not getting much play could be from no lizards in 40k? No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. They're popular in Age of Sigmar. I played in a tabletop tournament for Old World three or 4 weeks ago, and there was an Age of Sigmar Grand Tournament, a GT, going on at the same time, like in the same building. And I saw a lot of Lizardmen armies. They were very popular. Chesh, Yakshemash, Christopher. Hope you're doing Bardzo Dobja. All right. So they're loading again. It's go time. Oh, wow. Look at that. Double Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, the miniatures for Age of Sigmar are probably better than the 40k ones these days, yeah. But I just don't like the Age of Sigmar setting. It's such a bummer, but... Yeah, the minis are really good. They do a good job with that. Laughs and Chaos Knights, yeah. All right, so we have double Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch. I have no idea how those units are going to perform. But in theory, they're supposed to be good against like static Cathay infantry positions with good micro. We have a Chaos Lord of Tzeentch, which is an anti-large fighter to fight the dragons, and another hero. This is very meta for Tzeentch these days. Using the Exalted Hero and the Chaos Lord combo to bully enemy monsters is very, very cost effective. So I definitely like that. I think that's quite good. Yep, so the army here is going to be Zangor. Zangor's a solid little fighter. They can hold their own against Jades, and this is a bigger map, right? This is quite a wide map, which I would say favors Tzeentch. Granted, if you're Grand Cathay, what you want to do is you want to come down here. You want to hunker down on this objective, use this choke point to cut them off, and then slow push towards objective 2. That is how you play Cathay on this map, in my opinion. So, yeah. Gotrek and Felix's map loreful. Cathay's going to win. Yeah, we'll see, Bob. Well, we got the double Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch. Pretty rad unit. But yeah, I haven't seen them in a long time, so I'm not sure how they'll perform. Looking at Cathay's army, it is going to be Jades, backed up by Jade Warrior crossbows. Very, very original Cathay stuff. And it is going to be Miao Ying. Yeah, this is from the Gotrek and Felix books, isn't it? Yeah. His map, that's really cool, Bob. It didn't occur to me until you brought it up. Gotrek is here. We got Felix. You know, solid little fighting core. Can definitely bash through a lot of chaos if need be. Miao Ying is going to be providing heals and draconic combat. And yeah, she's looking pretty rad. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the battle is on. Eric, thank you for the tenor. Live, thanks for helping me through the end of a particularly rough work week. Oh, scantily clad lady would also rail in the branch throne. Right on. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate your support, my friend. Hope you're doing well, and let's get you through that week, brother. We got you. All right. So this is really strong by Hippo. He Vanguard deploys. Cathay can do the same thing. They can use Peasant Horsemen to do this Vanguard deployment, but him and Hippo is going to get a big points lead right out of the gates with this triple cap. He's able to get the objectives with Vanguard deployment using Zangors to grab that point. Objective 2 goes to Tzeentch. Objective 1, and immediately the victory tickets are already going to start counting against the forces of Grand Cathay. The Dragon Emperor, he's in some trouble. Hey, Yaru, thank you for the fiber. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming again. It will either be a Warcraft 3 tournament or an Age of Mythology tournament or Age of Empires 4 tournament. We're going to have some tourney tomorrow, so thank you for that donation, Yaru. Greatly appreciate it. All right, so a little bit of skirmishing out here. Uh-oh, Peasant Horseman coming out for Hasina. Now, I'm curious about this. Was that intentional? Did he send those horsemen to bait out an inefficient call-in from Hasina? Because Hasina on paper might be like, oh, Hitman Hippo's making a mistake here, right? Let's call in something to chase him. But then, is it like a 3D chess? Man, look at the Exalted Flamers, too. They're actually cooking some of the infantry here, so they're able to get some decent shots. We do see Hitman Hippo continuing to cook with these Exalted Flamers, but they are going to get shot by crossbows, not what they want. Another shot from downtown here does do some respectable damage and also leaves a little vortex after the effect. On the far side, very, very secure for Tzeentch. They do have their Zangors, and Zangors waiting in the trees to ambush the forces of Grand Cathay. But Cathay is basically doing exactly what we talked about. They're playing Objective 1 and then slow pushing towards Objective 2, which is the smart play. It's what you're going to want to be doing. We see the Exalted Flamers pulling back and continuing to poke. I'm really liking this play. This is very cool. Because these are units you don't see terribly often. And if Cathay had a single cannon, for example, they could stop this pretty easily. Like a cannon parked up on the hill could probably shoot these Exalted Flamers into the Shadow Realm. We see Gotrek, the hero of the old world, charging in. And yeah, he's pissed. He's got his Mohawk out, and he's going to be chasing this little strange demon here. Tzeentch honestly doesn't really have anything that can effectively deal with the hero core. Unless they have maybe a Final Transmutation caster in reserve. Something like that. It's going to be very tough. But the flamethrowers are cooking. And here we see the crossbows of Hasina shooting into the skirmishers here. So the broader horsemen going to pull back. Grand Cathay cavalry going to be swarming out. Meanwhile, the flamers still getting a lot of good damage here. And the side objective is now going to be contested. We do see the victory tickets going pretty heavily for Tzeentch at the moment. 325 against 28. But, you know, Cathay has plenty of time. And they just need to get it to a double cap situation, and then they'll be A-okay. Peasant horsemen here getting wrecked. You know, Tzeentch is ever the predator here. Anything gets caught in open field, and Tzeentch is going to hunt it down with its superior mobility, so Cathay needs to be careful not to split up their army too much. And we do see the Onyx Crowman. Oh no, that's so unlucky. The Book of Secrets. So it has a 1 in 3 chance of casting Fate Abuna. And it casts Fate Abuna, which is like a 22 wins a magic spell. That ability is such a casino RNG thing. Oh, it feels so bad for Grand Cathay. They just got absolutely wrecked by that. Iron Hill Gunners going to be on their way out. We do see the Flamers of Tzeentch continuing to cook these Jade Warriors right here. And now we see the Exalted Flamers going to be retreating back right now. Hitman Hippo is playing like a man possessed today. He is so evil and devious with his play. He's so villainous. And yep, the Exalted Flamer is going to be cooking these unprotected halberds. I think Cathay really needs like a cannon or something to shoot back against his army. Because man, he is just getting picked apart by the Tzeentchian force. Objective though is going to be flipping, and now Grand Cathay knows what they need to do. They basically just need to hold these objectives for as long as they can. Couple crossbows almost in range of the Exalted Flamer. Centaur is circling up on the high ground. And once again, another brutal shot. Brutal shot right there. Able to melt quite a bit of HP off those. Man, that's like half health. Some delicious water right there, ladies and gentlemen. So in the back, we do get the Exalted Flamer still cooking away at the crossbows. The Jade Warrior crossbows do get in range, but Hitman Hippo's micro is pretty intense. As soon as it gets in range here, he's able to pull it back. And Hasina is trying to use the Crowmen to hunt down the Exalted Flamers, but every time he does that, like, it's too dangerous. There's a full health unit of Centaurs of Tzeentch just waiting to get you, you know? It's tough. And, oh, we get a bit of a fight here. Chaos Lord decides to fight Miao Ying in the character core, which is not going to end well. We do see the Chaos Lord using Change or Die and pulling back right here. Grand Cathay is getting some Iron Hill Gunners. Iron Hill Gunners, you know, will melt whatever they hit, but their range is very, very poor at 90, so they're not going to be able to contest the Flamers of Tzeentch. I think for Cathay right now, they're using the Kung Pao Enter the Fist face-to-foot style. They're just going to have to eat all the ammunition from the Exalted Flamers to the face and then just hope that they have a good enough army to fight afterwards. We're going to have to see. A couple Zangors going to be circling around the side. Here we see the Crowmen trying to poke, but the Centaurs as well as some Marauder Horsemen able to out-skirmish them pretty well. Army here still being worn down, but Cathay is stalwart. You know, they can take beatings like this and still hold, especially with this hero core. That might pose problems for Hitman Hippo, but Hitman Hippo has a lot of time to work with. Oh my god, brutal damage. Brutal damage on the Iron Hill Gunners. Oh my god, down 30% HP at the very least. The value on this thing so far is about 1,200. Another call-in here is going to be, what, Jade Lancers. So just going to be getting some cavalry out and preparing for the onslaught of Tzeentch. So Tzeentch will be collapsing at some point. We don't know when, but the Changer will be scheming to do some big attacks here in a moment. And another nasty shot right into the epicenter of a very tightly packed unit, which has got to feel so bad for Hasnina. This is a very, very tough fight. Yeah, this is the boss fight for sure. Zangors in the trees. So we do see some Iron Hill Gunners moving through the bushes, which is going to end in disaster for them. What's going to happen is they're probably going to get flanked by some Zangors here, maybe even just head-on charged. Zangors do have Silver Shield, so they can easily eat one charge, and I say not be in too bad of a position. In the meantime, the Hero Core, we do have Miao Ying, Gotrek, and Felix running together, trying to hunt down the Exalted Flamer, which is continuing to cook the Jade Warriors in the front. Jade Warriors down to a very low amount of HP. The afterburner effect of those units seems to be pretty good. So yeah, just ignoring the Hero Core, which is good. You don't want to be fighting them on their terms. That was what we saw happen earlier with the Demons of Chaos, but alas, this Tzeentch army certainly knows how to avoid Cathay's strengths. So Zangors do eat one shot to the face, but they were in the trees, so the trees probably blocked quite a few of those shots. Now the Zangor is going to be retreating back into their natural habitat. So they didn't even lose any models from that volley. It looks like it probably wasn't a full volley coming in from the Iron Hill Gunners. So they're going to be retreating back. Centaurs of Tzeentch, are they going to get in there and go balls deep on the charge now? They're thinking about it. They might. Who knows? And we do see Grand Cathay catching up on points, so that is one thing that's going okay for them. As far as call-ins, more Jade Lancers have been summoned. We see the entire battlefield on fire with Warp Fire, as the Exalted Flamer here is at about 1,200 value, so it's certainly getting its money's worth working on these very tattered units. But yeah, he's going to have to strike Cathay eventually, but he's going to try and wear them down for as long as he possibly can before he goes for the kill. Once again, we see the Exalted Flamers here getting focused down by a lot of crossbows, so the Jade Warrior crossbows getting okay damage. The Flamer's actually getting worked down a bit, but it's not going to matter. It's basically what's going to happen is Hitman Hippo's going to let this thing get, you know, focused a little bit, use all of its ammo, and then he's just going to unsummon it, and then let it get back in the pool, and maybe resummon a healthy one from there, which is going to be very, very good. Yeah, Hippo has 5k supplies, and the reason why he's doing that is so he's just going to poke his opponent with what he has, and then he's going to do a big alpha strike. He's going to summon like 30 units at once and do a big push, I would wager. So we see Chaos Warriors being called out here. Double Chaos Warrior. Is he going to call out on other points? Yeah, he is. So the Hordes of Hell are preparing to advance. Look how beleaguered and tattered and haggard Cathay's army is. Look at that. Like, everything is so beat up. And now Tzeentch is going to be unsummoning its Exalted Flamers. We have the Hordes of Hell coming, so Chaos Warriors, Marauders, Chaos Warriors and Marauders, and over here we have a big envelop, which is going to happen as well, and a Vanguard is also going to be pressing down on this side. So he knows he's about to be passed in points by Grand Cathay, so I suspect he wants to get in there and just swarm now and try and put an end to these shenanigans. It is time. Yeah, the Flamers were able to bring the pain pretty hard against that army. I feel like it didn't accurately capture all the value, although I guess he is ahead by like 1,000, give or take. Cathay arguably could unsummon some of their really beat up like Jade Warriors and then get them back in the pool and resummon them. But it looks like Cathay is calling in units as soon as they are available. So here they come. Chaos Warriors moving up in every direction. And yeah, he's going to be attacking here very shortly. A lot of opportunities for swarming. The big problem for Grand Cathay is that their cavalry gets dicked so freaking hard by Centaurs of Tzeentch. The one way to deal with Centaurs of Tzeentch effectively for Grand Cathay is using your spear and halberd infantry in tandem with your shooting. But trying to meet them with Jade Lancers is going to end in disaster. They're going to get karate chopped super, super hard. This is the opening cinematic all over again a little bit, yeah. Oh my god, Book of Secrets? He didn't get the Buna that time. Okay. So he tried to use the Book of Una, but it did not proc that. It actually procced the slow and the weakness to fire. So that item's hilarious. Basically, you can either get Fate of Una, a slow with fire weakness, or enfeebling foe. So it's still, you know, they're all useful abilities, but the Buna is the one that really just cracks games open. So will Grand Cathay hold? Let us know in chat if you think they are. Chaos is going to be swarming in. Hitman Hippo prepares to do glorious battle as these Angors advance and do eat a little bit of fire on the way in. The Cathay troops, having been roasted by warp fire, certainly not going to be super excited about this fight. Their numbers are very low. We do have 62 models out of 120, which is a big ouch, but Gotrek is here, so Gotrek is going to be lending his axe to the fight. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, we do see Miao Ying moving across. Where is she going to be going? Is she going to be doing battle? Attacking the hero, perhaps? I think maybe just trying to bolster objective 2. And here comes a little bit of witchcraft, but it is very effectively dodged. Man, great dodge by Hasnina. He dodged that one real quick like. And Centaurs coming around the backfield, we do see Crowmen. Crowmen are actually pretty good against Centaurs of Tzeentch. They do magic damage and can make sure they don't get the counter charge off, which is nice. But now Cathay is attempting to hold. Iron Hill Gunners are in combat. Jade Warriors are in combat. And there's no sweet war drum to keep it going. You're not going to hold, says Arjun. Well, we will see if you are correct, my friend. You most likely are. I would agree with your assessment. As the Zangors here, attacked by Jade Lancers. Jade Lancers should be able to win that fight. Crowmen need to be used to counter the Centaurs of Tzeentch. Otherwise, the Centaurs are going to come in and just dunk on these Jade Lancers. So, you need to do it. Chaos Warriors from all sides. They're just going to be ignoring Grand Cathay's army on Objective 1. I think if you're Hasnina, you need to get all these units and start hustling over here to reinforce. Because Chaos easily just wrestled that at point. Their Warriors and Zangors just swarming all over the point. The Jade Warriors, who were cooked by the Warp Fire earlier, just fighting these 8-foot-tall Giga Chads. And yeah, they are not going to win this fight. Those Jade Warriors, although they do get a little bit of Earth Blood, which is nice, probably not going to be enough. So, Chaos Lord here, battling it out with Gotrek. I would assume Felix is not far away. The homies are always close together. They are, and it looks like Miao Ying, the Iron Dragon, or excuse me, the Storm Dragon, usually so used to seeing Iron Dragon, is going to be coming over to try and help out. Now, maybe Hastina can get back in this game if he's able to find some hero kills, if he can pick off some of those units. It looks like Tzeentch is just swarming on the backfield. We got Centaurs getting into the back, and there's not enough Jade Lancers and or mobility to really contest this. The Jade Lancers trapped up in combat here. That's going to be a dead Iron Hill Gunner. Meanwhile, Centaurs of Tzeentch here picking apart the Jade Warrior crossbows, getting a ton of burst damage, and just being very predatory on the units that are weak and low. And Grand Cathay, however, appears to have passed the forces of Chaos on the balance of power. Could Grand Cathay have some weird shenanigans where they can grind back in this game? The one thing to remember is that Grand Cathay does have a very good hero core, so maybe that can do something. But now we got Changebringers coming out. The Warpfire of Tzeentch. Brutal stuff. Brutal stuff. So here it comes. We do see the Changebringers shooting into the Jade Warrior crossbows here, so they're going to continue getting that good damage. And the problem is if these crossbows go offline right here, this whole unit is vulnerable to the Changebringers. They're just going to be able to fly over there with impunity and do whatever they want. Wow, look at this. Nice play by Hasnina. So Hasnina coming over with the Grand Cathay Cavalry surprise, banking about 1,200, 1,500 resources, and alpha striking with these peasants on Objective 3 and stealing that, which suddenly gets them back in the game. All right. That's a pretty sweet one right there. I'm digging this Cathay play. It's not bad at all. It like looks like they're losing in some of these games, but then suddenly they're like, surprise, we're back, baby. So Halberds are getting cooked by the Changebringers, and there are going to be some Zangors coming over. The Halberds are going to be trying to engage them, but the Changebringers will easily cook this whole position. A couple of Crowmen coming across for Grand Cathay. Good choice. They will be able to disrupt those Changebringers pretty well. As far as this point goes, it looks like the Heretics of Chaos have done well. Flamestorm going to be going down on the Jade Warriors. And on the backside, we do see the Peasant Legions battling it out versus Marauder Horsemen and Centaurs. And there are enough of them that maybe they can actually hold on here. A couple Peasant Horsemen versus Centaurs. I mean, Centaurs win that fight, but the Peasants don't do badly. You definitely don't want to send elite units into Centaurs of Tzeentch, but sending trash into them is definitely more ideal. But yeah, Grand Cathay could, if they can hold this point for a couple more minutes and then also hold on to the outside point, they might get into the situation where they can Helm's Deep somewhere. But it just doesn't seem like, I don't know, I guess Gotrek, Felix, and Miao Ying do have a decent capability of Helm's Deeping. It looks like she's in dragon form. Gotrek, the hero of the old world, battling it out versus the Chaos Lord. The Chaos Lord's going to be getting the axe in the face, so he asked him a question, and that Chaos Lord is not enjoying it. Looks like here we do see the Wand of Whimsy, so that is going to be the Tzeentch cultist buffing up the entire army here. A couple Jade Lancers going to be running to the outside to try and stabilize this position. Zangor's doing very well. those Changebringers, a big, big menace. And Cathay needs to get some units on that objective ASAP. You cannot afford to lose this. Cathay needs to hold this point. They really, really need to hold it. So the Jade Lancers and the Halberds going to be moving across. On the middle, Miao Ying and company, they might be able to work some magic here. Gotrek, though, and Felix are taking some damage from the cycle charging. And now we do see the forces of Hitman Hippo finally winning this fight here. So the real game plan for Cathay here now is just obviously hold on to this point, but find a way to get your hero core to take over this objective, which is going to be easier said than done. That's going to be incredibly difficult. That is for sure. So Felix and Gotrek, though, laying a bit of a smackdown on these heretics, which is cool. You gotta love it. The thematic Warhammer fantasy heroes getting in there and chopping down old Chaos Lord. Change or die active, though, does give him some good ward save. But yeah, they're losing that fight. There's certainly a sliver of hope here for Grand Cathay. Looking at the value, we do see Grand Cathay is actually ahead of Hitman Hippo here. Hitman Hippo going to be coming across with the Centaurs. This is going to be a very close game, man. This is impressive. It looks like Cathay was cooked, but they're... oh, man! Oh, Hitman Hippo getting a big, big burst of damage there on Miao Ying. She needs to go human form right now and drop some heals. If that happens again, that could maybe be GG. Oh, man, that damage is brutal. Miao Ying getting roasted by Warp Fire, but thankfully, for Miao Ying's sake, they run out of ammo. Is she going to break? Okay, it looks like she just barely stabilizes. Miao Ying is a very high leadership unit. She needs to go into human form right now and get some heals. Oh, man, Miao Ying got broken there. That is really rough. That might have cracked the game open because it honestly looked like maybe Grand Cathay had a decent chance there with Miao Ying rampaging on that point. But those Changebringers locking it down and Hitman Hippo over here on the other side intercepting the reinforcements, the Iron Hail Gunners, with the very beat up Furies is a huge MLG play. That was very, very big. So Miao Ying is going to be running now. She's got 420 HP. There is a chance that she can rally, but I think that flamethrower attack might have been enough. What a close game, and I'm very impressed with this Hastina player. I don't know who they are, but they're playing very well against top-tier players. And on this objective, we do see Grand Cathay holding it, but Chaos does have the Zangors and might find an opportunity to get that one back. Miao Ying is fleeing, but also the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch got his butt kicked too. I don't know what did it, but something beat him down. It must have been the hero squad. So he's running for the hills. So both players could be leaderless, but it looks like the Storm Dragon has rallied. She needs to go human form and drop some Earthbloods on herself like right now. That's going to be very, very important. Looking at the side point here, we do see Grand Cathay holding it. It's very dodgy, though. Maybe they're going to be able to. Cathay is up on points. No, they're not. Tzeentch has just passed them on points. Grand Cathay needs to get an objective back really soon. They have an Unholy Legion coming up of Iron Hill Gunners as well as Jade Warriors. I think Grand Cathay needs to save and get a bunch of Peasant Horsemen and try and steal the side objective like they did before. Or, I don't know, maybe just use them here. It's hard to say. Because they're also in danger of losing this objective, too. So we see this one going down here. We do see the Jade Warrior Halberds putting up a fight against Zangors with some Peasant Spears. Maybe they win that fight and force off the Zangors. Gotrek and Felix are providing capture weight. They're 3 each, but this is 10 capture weight here. 13, actually, for the forces of Tzeentch. So he's going to need to get some reinforcements in there really quickly. But I think he's rapidly running out of time. Storm Dragon comes in. She needs to go human form right now and heal. No, man, the Storm Dragon goes down. Beautiful play by Hitman Hippo. And that is going to be a tap out there for Hastina. She's like, I'm too weak. All right, GG, well played. That was a great game. That looked really one-sided in the beginning, but then Cathay found a way. I don't know. They did a good job just value trading there. Good scrap. Good scrap indeed. All right, so looking at the army here. Gotrek with 2,000 value. That's no joke. Storm Dragon. Oh my God, there's so many dragons. Yeah, they tried their best. Honestly, I think that, you know, yeah, the Emperor's Executioner might not be bad here. That was a great game, man. Flamers, 1,500, 1,700. Tzeentch Heroes got their butts kicked a little bit. Centaurs did really good as usual, and Changebringers did 1,800 as well. All right. So let's see how we're looking in the tournament, see if there's any admin stuff. I think we are all right. I think we're doing good. Okay, refresh this. So Hastina is going to be relegated to the bottom bracket semis, and we are going to be seeing Hitman Hippo advancing on to the grand finals. So let me see if this match has started yet. B6 versus Outer Region. Did they start it yet? You two start. All right, so we're checking that out. We're going to see if the crew has started yet. Hitman Hippo is in the finals. So taking a look at the bracket here, let's look and see the magic. You have Hitman Hippo defeating Hastina here, going to be going on to the grand finals. Hastina will be right here, so that's going to be right there on the bracket to face the winner of this game here. So B6, B6 versus Outer Region, and we will see who's able to win that Duel of Fates. Yeah, Changebringers are good against big single entities. They don't really hit foot characters as well, but big single entities, they will they'll cook you up pretty good. You're gonna be eating well. Okay. No problem. No problem, no problem. Go ahead and yeah, so they just started. Sure, we can do that. If it's not a problem. All right, so we're gonna do an Outer Region game here. It looks like he's remaking his lobby real quick, which is very generous of him. I love Age of Mythology. I'm addicted to it. It's so super fun. I'm having a blast. I never played it, so it's like just a smorgasbord of fun RTS that I never got to enjoy before, you know? All right, so we got into the game. I'm away. And GG. All right. Slaanesh versus Skaven. All right. I respect this. I'm going to go refill my water real quick, and I'll be right back. This will be a fun matchup. All right, we're back, baby. Let's go time. Let's have some fun. What's my favorite spell in this game? Well, that's a tough question. Are we talking about like thematically or like in functionality? It would be different answers. All right, baby. I'm back. Just getting some water. It's go time. So here we are on the bottom side of the bracket. This is the loser's bracket semifinal or quarterfinal, I think, yeah. The winner of this match is going to go on to play Grand Cathay. So Falling Star is going to be playing the Skaven. We have Double Chieftain on the Bonebreakers. This is very much in the style of the great legend Hadri's. He was one of the first innovators of this style. But the Double Chieftain is pretty menacing. They can definitely fight armor. They give Skaven some durable kind of punching power to get through the armor of chaos. They get Claw on the Doom Wheel. Oh, we got a Doom Wheel too. This is pretty exciting. I do dig that. Now, aside from this, we do have the Clan Rats, a little Skaven Slave Slinger core, some Storm Vermin Halberds, which are all the hotness right now. They're so hot right now. And some Skaven Slaves as well. So yeah, decent little stability, but the big core is going to be the heroes, which is, not bad at all. So looking over here at the forces of Slaanesh in Outer Region. Outer Region going to be rocking an Exalted Keeper of Secrets. That's a big target. Certainly risky against Jezzails and Slingers and some of the threats that Skaven do have, but if it's able to get the big terror going and punish the Skaven blobs, I mean, it can be nasty, for sure. A couple Devoted Marauders coming out for Slaanesh, Devoted Marauders into the sunset here, and it is going to be a Cultist on the outside, double Cultist, so they're looking to convert some of these rats to Slaanesh, and imagining Slaaneshi Skaven is a bit of a disturbing thought, but it is going to be Cultists moving up, very good grinding characters, although they will get their butts kicked pretty hard by the Chieftains as well as the Doom Wheel. But they are going to be teamed up with some Fiends. So the Fiends looking to steal the back objective, but Falling Star here with some nice counterplay. We got the Eshin Triads coming out. So the Eshin Triads will be okay at fighting fiends. The fiends will hurt them quite a bit as well, but yeah, it's a good trade for the Skaven, I would say, having those pointy sticks. So they move the pointy sticks on, and now we see Ikit Claw as well as the double chieftain. Going to be denying this kind of cheeky Slaanesh backcap here. Outer region moving his marauders up, and I'm really curious what he's going to be doing with the big lord. He just has Pavane, that's it. So the Doom Wheel is shooting a laser beam, and the Eshin Triad's thinking about engaging here, but probably just going to want to hold back. Skaven, what I would probably do if I were in the Skaven position is send the Doom Wheel middle and keep the two chieftains with the Eshin Triad and see if they can hold this back objective on their own. And that's a big part of domination, is realizing allocation priorities, like where you need to allocate units. Do you need to put them, how many do you need to hold this objective? It's kind of like traditional RTS, where if you have like an expansion, let's say in Age of Empires or in Warcraft 3, like, okay, how much do I need to invest here to protect it? How many towers do I need? Do I need to leave some of my army here to make sure it's safe? Et cetera, et cetera. But Objective 1 is being held, and we do see the double cultists coming, and a third Fiend, as well as Chaos Furies. Okay, so it looks like this is about to be a pretty balls-deep fight back here. Slaanesh, this is going to be tough. If this freaking Keeper of Secrets comes back here with the cultists and all these units, the rats are going to be forced off that objective really hard. And now we have Doom Flayers coming out for this Skaven, so the Doom Flayers are here, and they're rolling dirty. Going to be rerouting maybe to the back objective. Doesn't look like it, and Slaanesh does bully the rats off the back point. All right, so they get pulled back here. And we do see the rampage going down on Ikit Claw. Outer region with his trying to seduce Ikit Claw. And, oh man. Oh, the rats better protect him. Oh god, he's a rampage for another 20 seconds. Oh, you need to get some help in there. That's like a big anti-large fighter surrounded with fiends. Oh, Outer region's just going for blood. He's pissed about losing to Cathay earlier, and he wants vengeance. But, yeah, this is looking really bad for the Skaven already. Should have kept the spears a little bit closer to Ikit. If he can survive and drop a Flensing Rune, that could be some very ideal counterplay, but he's shaken and stirred. And man, those Eshin Triads got folded like a piece of paper by those Furies, as well as just the sheer number of units. I mean, Slaanesh has so much more value right here than the Skaven, so it makes sense that this is happening. The Skaven were very ill-prepared to deal with this. It was so smooth. It was like this big, transition over here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Skaven just tap out after this, which would be fine, because we have another player waiting in the wings, but yeah, Skaven getting absolutely karate chopped here. And losing Ikit this early on, I mean, the Doom Wheel gives them some durability, but now they're coming to support. But we do see the Chieftain here getting surrounded. Flayers coming in trying to help. That Flensing Rune was very good, but Ikit is dead, I think. Yeah, I think Ikit just died. So Skaven leadership is going to be very, very questionable here. But, I mean, if you save up, Falling Star starts saving up now to resummon Ikit, maybe. Is there power grab on either of these lords? No power grab, so yeah, that would have been nice, but alas, it is not there. The Flayers and the Chieftains are fighting, but the Skaven are basically losing everything of value against this Slaaneshi Alpha Strike. They were not prepared. Okay, never mind. There goes Ikit. He just died. And oh, look at that. Look at the nuke going off. I love it when Ikit goes down, that animation. It's so good. Yeah, Chieftain's dead, and yeah, that's going to be the end of the road. Outer region just getting a really, really sweaty rotate, which was really good. That was a beautiful Alpha Strike, right? And the Skaven had maybe like, I don't know, 3, okay, Ikit Claw plus 2 Chieftains plus maybe like 4,500 gold there. And Slaanesh had like 8. They had like double the value in that fight. And a lot of the Skaven army was kind of sitting over here and was not lending its aid to that fight. So maybe having some Jezzails from downtown to like focus fire and help, maybe. But overall, I think this is going to be a massacre now. The rats have bad leadership when their lord dies, and the marauders are going to surge in, and they're just going to dominate these stinky little rats. So, yeah, those Skaven clan rats going to get butchered. We do see fiends collapsing in from every angle, and the greater demon is still very healthy. Are the rats saving up? They are saving up for Ikit Claw, so they're trying to get their big lord back. We do see the Night Runners getting Rampage, which is a great play. It's going to be pulling them into the fiends where they're going to get massacred. A bit of damage going down. The Flensing Rune that Ikit Claw got before he went down did do a lot of damage. That was quite nice. Demonette summoned for the cultists are here. So double Demonettes have been summoned. Chieftain has returned. And Ikit Claw is going to be resummoned here. I don't know if he's fully cooled down yet, but probably close. Fascination going down on the Night Runners. So the Night Runners getting torn to pieces. Triple cap here for the forces of Slaanesh. And talk about a brutal display of power here by the Dark Prince. Certainly no mercy. So yeah. Falling Star, yeah, it's certainly an apt description of the game here. But, yeah, Falling Star is a good player. Played against him before, very, very solid. Just kind of got caught slipping up there. And, You know, Slaanesh is a very, very finesse faction, but if they do get those surgical attacks and really get those picks, man, they can do some of the most brutal damage in the game. So Ikit is back. He's like, I didn't just blow up on a nuke, I have plot armor. So he's going to use unlimited power. Let's give a little bit of Winds of Magic, trying to get some cleansing runes ready. But like, I don't know what B6 thinks is going to happen here. This is, or Outer Region. Or excuse me, Falling Star. They go by a couple different names, so it's confusing here. Yeah, this is a Pantera album cover, yes. Fiends of Slaanesh, taking apart the Tattered Storm Vermin here. We do see some more Fiends on the way over. And yeah, Slaanesh looking very, very sauced right now. And maybe if the Greater Demon gets killed here, maybe. But I don't think so. Skaven have just... the problem is Skaven couldn't get the objectives back. Even if they were able to grind it back to equal amount of value, they just wouldn't get the objectives. Cleansing Rune is a really, really good spell, though. You can see it lasts like a million years and does a ton of damage, but... yeah, Ikit just... what's even left for the Skaven? I mean, the couple rats in the middle in the trees. We have Devoted Marauders hunting down the clan rats here. Skaven Slave Slingers being hunted down. Demonettes, the Exalted Demonettes, mind you, just butchering everything in sight. And now Outer Region just hides this Exalted Hero, just kind of sits it back in the shadows and just keeps the rats pinned in their spawn zone. And that's going to be that. This is already finished. Yeah, it is. But just like in any RTS game, right? Like if somebody gets crushed in Age of Empires in a feudal engagement, they can still sit in their base for a couple minutes and prolong their death, which is basically what Falling Star is doing right now. This game is 1,000,000,000% over, and that is going to be the end of the road. Brutal swarm here by Outer Region. Getting that rampage, and then the rats like didn't have any support. They just had like, you know, a couple Haggard Spear units, which were not up to the task of taking on like 3 Fiends. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Pretty nasty indeed. So here we see the Exalted Keeper of Secrets getting run down by Ikit Claw. Ikit Claw, he wants to get his little rat paw vengeance. You know, have you ever seen that picture of that like rat like clenching its fist in anger? This is totally Ikit Claw right now. So Ikit Claw does get a laser beam in the back of the Exalted Keeper, but Fiends are about to come in. Rampage going down on the Rat Ogres, and the Fiends are going to handle this pretty well. Ooh, crumbling on the Exalted Keeper, unstable. It's a lot of damage going down. Really good resilience here by Falling Star, but it's not going to be enough. The points, look at the points. It's almost 1,000 points. We have 2 units of Exalted Demonettes coming in. That is a brutal amount of stopping power. And here we have the Greater Demon actually stabilize, which is tough. So this thing, when units are routing near it, it actually heals. So the Exalted Keeper was getting a little bit of heal, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and double check this. Feasting on Fear, yeah. No, it looks like it's not even active. Okay, so maybe it's just going to start crumbling again. -3. And yeah, the demon's had enough. It wants to go back to hang out with Slaanesh and enjoy some, you know, hedonistic parties. Looking at the far side, objective trace is, or 1 is uno, I should say. Ichi in Japanese, I think. It's been a while. But the Fiends holding it down, and we do see the Night Stalkers. The Night Stalkers, Night Runners. Well, the brain's all over the place today. But able to do a little bit of good poke. Very good against Slaanesh, actually, especially against Fiends. Fiends are very weak against missiles, so having the Ninja Star Rats is very cost effective here. And Ikit Claw trying to fight it out, but you know he's ready to go down round 2. Let's get another nuclear explosion. Fiends are a pretty hard counter against Doomwheel. They have good mass, good armor piercing. Overall, it's going to be a pretty nasty little fight right there. And we do see the Ikit. He's wavering at 2,000 HP. Exalted Demonettes are about to butter the bread of any Skaven that are coming up. And yeah, once again, Devoted Marauders pinning him in. Don't know why they're staying here. The rats literally have no chance in hell. That gank in the beginning was brutal. But honestly, look how close the value is. If Falling Star just hadn't blundered in the beginning, this could have been a Skaven game for sure. Or at least a very even game. But Outer Region, getting her done. GG, well played. And that is going to be Outer Region advancing on to the quarters, where he's going to face his nemesis from earlier. So he did lose the Grand Cathay earlier, but now we're going to cast that game. And the winner is going to go on to face Tzeentch in the Grand Finals. Cool. So the Little Rats have been defeated. They tried. They tried so hard and got so far. And in the end, it did not matter. All right. Fun one. 69 kills, the blessed number. That is the reason why Outer Region won. And now we're here. So I'm just going to hang out in this lobby. And let's get this started. All right, perfect. Okay, and we're all good. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to have our next match in just a second. We're going to be getting her done. Refreshing. And bracket is there. So now it is Hasnina versus Outer Region once again. We're on the Imperial Road, which is a pretty okay Cathay map. It has a home objective, which is a power fantasy for Grand Cathay. Granted, there also is a really good flanking opportunity through the very loose tree line. So, yeah. Outer Region did lose earlier to Hasnina. That's what sent him to the losers bracket. So this is an opportunity for vengeance. Kind of a fun idea. Yeah, the dirty warp bomb, yeah. Yeah. Man, it's go time, man. There's always more rats. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Skaven and the Demons certainly don't have any issues with, you know, getting their swarms going. Okay, let's refresh this. Hitman Hippo in the grand final. So Tzeentch, really top tier Tzeentch play today. It's been nuts. It's been super impressive. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, do drop a like. It helps quite a bit. It helps keep the old Total War engine going. What do you guys think about this double Elim tournament format? Do you guys enjoy it more than Swiss? I think you do tend to get more games like rapid fire casted in this format, which is kind of cool. I kind of like it. If the tournament was bigger, though, it could be a little bit cumbersome, but I don't know. Yeah, Swiss is fun, I guess. Any chance at some Age of Mythology after the tournament? Probably not. I'm probably going to go record afterwards. I got to get some videos up for the channel. But I will be doing Age of Mythology tomorrow, most likely. Yeah. That's the plan for now. Can't confirm Outer Region getting very into Slanesh playing. Okay. Yeah, he was hunting the rat. He was. Outstanding. Yeah, I don't know. Who has a better chance against Slanesh, though? Or against Tzeentch? Cathay put up a pretty damn good fight against... and maybe on a smaller map, Cathay would have had an easier time dealing with that. Maybe one freaking cannon in reserve, too, would have been a nice tech. The Swiss picks can take some time, yeah. Double Elim is far superior for this many competitors. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I like double Elim, but it can suck for upper bracket finalists because they wait a while. That's true. That is the one downside, but... You know, they can always come hang out on the stream. It's not too bad, right? They come hang out and spy on the competition. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'd just be scheming and watching how their opponents play. Age of Mythology released a patch today which fixed out of sync issues and adjusts the balance across the gods. It's really nice. Dude, I'm loving freaking Age of Mythology, though. It's so fun. Oh, I'm so addicted to it. Yeah, Tourney. An in-house Tourney would be really fun. So maybe we'll do one. How about the players... Bare knuckle boxing. Oh my god, bare knuckle boxing is pretty savage to watch. I've watched a handful of fights. You know, Mike Perry, the UFC guy's been fighting there, and man, their faces get tore up in bare knuckle. Oh man, I think the most I mean, outside of bare knuckle boxing, there's a MMA fighter, a Polish MMA fighter. One of the most freaky looking injuries I've seen in a fight was when Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she got like hit on like above the eye, and it like swelled up like it was insane. That was one of the gnarliest bits of swelling I've ever seen. Worst point in Total Attorneys is the waiting around. Yeah, Faction War is next weekend. I'm gonna start organizing it in the next 2 days, and we'll have one next Saturday most likely, unless something comes up. Yeah, but that'll be a lot of fun. I love Faction War. But these tournaments are cool too. They're more casual. We just get to hang out and chill. Ikit Claw got betrayed by the other... I don't know. Those Skaven characters fought to the death. Yeah, they fought to the death. Bare Knuckle? You think Bare Knuckle is the worst combat sport? No, I wouldn't say it's the worst. Like, I think like a lot of those combat sports that are like focused on just like scoring points are just not super fun to watch. Where it's not like an actual fight, it's more about like scoring a point from like hitting somebody's like stomach pad or whatever. Like, I don't enjoy those. I like actual fighting combat sports myself. Yeah, I would cast the Age of Mythology tournament and play in it. Maybe I would just cast it. I'm not sure. I don't know how we can spectate though. I'm gonna have to experiment tonight and see, because I know if they fix the spectator feature where you can search games, then yeah, we should be fine. But otherwise, I would like to cast it. That'd be a lot of fun. Slap fight isn't even a martial art. That's just like a joke. Yeah, it's funny, but Getting out of region twice is definitely a conspiracy against the rats, yeah. Yeah, he's a tough opponent, B6. You played well. That one engagement was just unfortunate for you. Yeah. You kept the value pretty close, though. Got the Greater Demon. You know, there was a couple things that went well. There's a couple things that went pretty well. But my favorite sport to watch in general is MMA. I love MMA. It's so fun. Boxing fights can be fun for sure. Depends. I'm a big enjoyer. I do like heavyweight boxing. Heavyweight boxing is pretty fun to watch. Kickboxing can be fun to watch for sure. Muay Thai is pretty fun. Jiu-jitsu is unfortunately, competitive jiu-jitsu is unfortunately, in my opinion, kind of boring to watch. Like all the butt scooting and the stalling and there are some formats which are better than others. But yeah, it's tricky. There's also a site where people upload their own Age of Mythology replays if you're interested in casting. I'm probably just going to cast my own. I had some good matches yesterday I recorded in Age of Mythologies, and I'm going to put those up. Yeah, side fighting is just people getting concussed and you can't like defend yourself. Yeah, that's definitely very accurate. Oh yeah, Cyborg. I saw that fight. Yeah, it was a tough one. Hockey is fun to go to for sure. I've been to a handful of hockey games. I enjoy those a lot. How do we feel about John Jones ducking Tom Aspinall? Yeah, it's lame. I mean, yeah, Tom like the whole UFC, the way the UFC does with like interim titles is so stupid. Like John Jones has been holding up the light heavy. Oh no, I guess he's heavyweight now, right? He's been holding up the division for like what, like a couple years now. And like instead of fighting the interim champion, which is what the whole point of the interim champion is, he's like fighting like Stipe is amazing, right? Stipe is a top tier fighter. Big fan of Stipe, but the dude is like in his 40s and hasn't fought in years, you know, and that's who he wants to like. It's just the UFC should make him relinquish the title or fight Aspinall. It's stupid. It's really dumb. Tom Aspinall is a great fighter. He's so fun to watch. The way he moves, he's like, you know, he's been training since he was like 6 years old for MMA too. That's like the future, right? Like a lot of 90s and early 2000s MMA guys like just kind of came from other disciplines and had to adjust to MMA or like, you know, trained when they were older. But the future is guys like Tom Aspinall who've been training their entire lives just for MMA. I watched bits and pieces of it, Mikhail, yeah. Yeah, Stipe is amazing, but yeah, he's definitely way past his prime. And John Jones is like, he can't even use the excuse. Like, he's not even that old. I mean, in MMA mileage, I guess he has a lot of mileage on him because he's been fighting a long time. But yeah, I think he's younger than I am. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that's like a common opinion, Professor. I don't think my opinions are avant-garde there in any way. I think everybody feels that way. Anyways. MMA rant over. Here we are in the losers bottom semifinal. It feels wrong calling them losers. These guys are such chads. It is the bottom bracket semifinals. It's going to be Yuan Bo. Oh yeah, dude, the Emperor's Executioner. Let's go. Versus Azazel. All right, this is fun. We got some really cool characters here, and yeah, it's go time, man. Let's get it. You guys talking to, oh man, don't get me ranting about how awful Steven Seagal is. Oh god. I admittedly I enjoyed his movies in the 90s. When I was like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, you know, young teenager watching like Under Siege, and like those were fun. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, he seems pretty terrible. And his modern movies are just the worst. They're pretty fun to watch, I guess, if you just want to see something awful. All right, guys, Slanesh, let's look at the army comp. It is going to be Devoted Marauders, backed up by Azazel. So Azazel is going to be rocking Demon Blade and Pavane. So Pavane is okay against Cathay, but everything Cathay has is pretty tanky. But if you get Pavane on like a Jade Lancer unit that's out of position or a Longma Rider and pull them to their death, then that is really, really going to be worth it. On the other side here, we do have a flank coming in. So it's going to be Exalted Demonettes, double Cultists, and Fiends as well. Oh, there's a speech. Okay, can you just cut the speech out? He just won't stop here. But I do like this flank. Grand Cathay hates being split pushed on multiple objectives. Grand Cathay wants you to just engage them on a blob where they have harmony, right? And look at this play from Hastina. He's scouting. Oh, he's got the Flying Air Force here. So the Great Longbow Riders are scouting the tree line, looking for outer region, which is a very, very good play. But he needs to scout further. Go this way. Keep looking. So you're not going to see the flank. Cathay does have Jade Warrior Halberds, which, you know, give you some anti-large against some of the Fiends and big scary threats. Jade Warrior crossbows, Jade Warriors. We do also have Yuan Bo, the Jade Dragon, a very good duelist character, very good at grinding on objectives as well. And last but not least, there's going to be a cannon call-in. No Fire Rain Rocket. Whoa, this is a weird build. This is definitely a very, very weird build. All right, so this is exactly what I was worried about. Dude, Outer Region is such a devious Slaaneshi heretic. He catches you slipping and punishes you hard. These Longma Riders are going to get surrounded, and that's going to be basically 1,000 value gone, like right out of the gates here for the forces of Grand Cathay. Yeah, I mean, when you see Azazel flying over there, you got to run away. It's pretty obvious what he wants to do, right? So that was a big mistake by Grand Cathay, letting a 1,400 gold unit basically just get instantly KO'd. Fire Rain Rockets shooting into the trees. They're not going to do much damage against the Fiends. And Yuan Bo does use, what the hell is that? Talons of the Night? Okay, that was definitely a Bronze Odia play. Talons of the Night only does good damage against infantry. I guess maybe he was trying to catch those. But Grand Cathay is at a colossal disadvantage. Losing an expensive unit, wasting Winds of Magic. A couple things out of the gates are very, very rough. If they had just hunkered down and played defensively, they would be in okay shape now. But yeah, that was a very, very bad start for them. So we do see a call in here. It is going to be some Chaos Furies. Fiends, are they going to work through the seam, or are they just going to attack into the Jade Warriors? Looks like they're going to be attacking into the Jade Warriors. And we do see Yuan Bo looking like he wants to fight Azazel, but he can't quite reach him. Cultist going to be on the back point. What you need to be doing is using Yuan Bo to kill these cultists and help with these. Bring Yuan Bo over here, Talons of the Night on the Exalted Demonettes, and then use him with his anti-infantry to kill the cultists. Otherwise, it's just a mistake. And the Fire Rain Rocket isn't so good, you need to like spam defend it. But as a matter of fact, this is revenge for Outer Region if he wins this. This matchup was won earlier by Hastina, and Hastina did send Outer Region to the loser's bracket. So this is a little bit of sweet vengeance here, potentially. Shots coming in. Fire Rain Rocket's actually doing very, very respectable damage, which is cool to see. Onyx Crowmen trying to do battle with the Furies, and normally they would trade okay, but with Azazel helping out, it's going to be a losing fight. And now we see penetration into the secondaries. Outer Region is just going absolutely crunk here, and it looks like we're going to be having a Chaos Grand Final. As Azazel does descend, we see the Furies getting on top of the Fire Rain Rocket. The Cows are even trying to fight back with their horns, but not going great for them. A couple Bandits of the Silver Road being called in, but on this side, Yuan Bo's trying, but even this objective is slowly starting to slip up. Exalted Demonettes are going to rip apart Celestial Dragon Guard. It's going to be an absolute massacre in that fight. And on the middle objective, it is being held by Grand Cathay, but probably not for too much longer. The Fiends, a slight lapse in micro from Outer Region. Definitely needs to get those Fiends active. He does call in some fast cavalry. Hellstriders of Slaanesh on the backfield, but Azazel and company are able to rip apart that Fire Rain Rocket. Pavane of Slaanesh trying to rampage that crew into a bad situation. And yeah, that is going to be absolutely savage play right there. Yeah, no drum. The drum is actually pretty good. Like, Cathay melee drum play on this map wouldn't be terrible against Slaanesh. Granted, Outer Region is experienced enough to know to avoid the drum, but I think it would still propose a decent threat. But really good performances so far from Hastina today. Defeating Outer Region is no small feat, and also getting that far on the top side of the bracket. So shout out to you. You played great. But I think this is probably going to be... I see the writing on the wall, right? This objective is going to go to Chaos. Middle objective has gone to Chaos 2, and the triple cap is really going to start firing off soon when that objective flips. Azazel penetrating in here, getting on top of the Jade Warriors, the Bandits of the Silver Road, going to be getting a couple picks, shutting down the Archers to an extent. Here we do see the Hellstriders. Are they the anti-large variant? They are. So they got buffed a little bit. Not to their previous tyrannical state, but still to a decent state. And Cathay is just so stuffed back right now. They're really having a hard time. Cultists hanging out here as the Demonettes continue bumping and grinding. And where are the Exalted Demonettes that were here? Did they get killed by Yuan Bo? They're still fighting. It looks like he must have gotten a Vortex on them. I think he cast some sort of a big scary there. But the objective is starting to flip. Chaos probably calling in some speed. What do we have? Exalted Demonettes. Now that Cathay's artillery and bow line is offline, you could just call in elite infantry. And there's basically nothing that Cathay is going to be able to do without their guns and bows online. Chad is saying that I called them the losers bracket and Outer Region took that personally. Yeah. There's no reason to have your archers in pencil formation, in my opinion, no. Unless you're trying to fit them into formation somewhere, but yeah, no, there's no reason. So that's going to be a nice Talons of the Night there for Grand Cathay. That's going to be tickling the pickle. It does hit the Exalted Demonettes. And yeah, the Cultists, though, are fighting pretty well against Yuan Bo. And Fiends and Azazel can probably beat him. Like, if they all swarm him and the Demon Blade is active on Azazel, that's going to be enough to probably kill Yuan Bo. He's charmed. Soporific Musk is active. There's a lot of debuffs on him. I think he's going to have a bad time. Exalted Demonettes are creeping up. Fiends chasing back these tattered peasant horsemen, but going to be turning back to the battlefield here as Chaos Furies are now going to be descending and coming out to party. And we are going to be getting a battle of the Chaos Gods in the Grand Finals, which will be fun. I definitely dig that one. So what do we got? Cultist here chewing away. Yuan Bo is one of the more Chad duelists in the entire game. He does have an execution ability and is a very good fighter, has great combat ward save abilities, but he didn't bring the ward save ability, nor did he bring net, which is a mistake. I think net is very good against Slaanesh, but he's trying. Exalted Demonettes are charming at Yuan Bo, and we got the Cavalry and Fiends swarming in from all sides. Fiends penetrating deep into the backfield. Bandits of the Silver Road are in the pits. And this objective, has it flipped? It has. So every objective has flipped here. It is a triple cap. And Yuan Bo doing his big anime ascension as he flies up, and now they're going to have a little duel in the skies. Yuan Bo would probably trade pretty well into Azazel, though. He just has a lot more HP, although, I don't know, Yuan Bo is pretty beat up here in Azazel. Does have Demon Blade. Is he have it off cooldown is the question. A couple of cultists going to be cruising back up towards the point. Exalted Demonettes, have they arrived yet? They have arrived, I believe, in the front line. Here they are, yes. So they have arrived. And, I mean, halberds are going to get massacred. Yep, good game sense. Hastina, well played to you today. You put up a great fight, and beating Outer Region earlier is no small feat, so well played. But Outer Region came for blood this time. He sought vengeance for those who have wronged him, and this is going to be it. GG, well played. And here we are in the grand finals of today's tournament, ladies and gentlemen. So Outer Region, we could just stay in this lobby. GG, invite Hippo. And here we are. All right. So the score will be reported. We'll show you guys the bracket, but this is going to be it. Thank you all for joining. Been a really fun one today. Cool to see a Chaos Bowl. The last couple SFTs we've casted have been won. Who won the last one? I think it was an Order faction. I can't remember who, but someone or other. Outer Region. Outer Region's always been villainous, though. That's the thing. He always plays very evil meta. Yeah, the villain arc has been going for a long time. Yeah, but that's what's fun about this tournament is there is a villain arc, right? When you lose and then climb your way back from the pits, it's like Batman climbing out of the pits after Bane breaks his back, you know? And Outer Region had to beat Lydon, he had to beat Charix, he had to beat B6. He had to beat some really tough opponents to climb out of the pits here. Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got. Eastern Isle Colony is the map, I think. Let me check the finals map. It's actually, yeah, it's fine. They can play, the map is supposed to be Changer's Madhouse. So map is Changer's Madhouse for finals. No problemo. Okay, so here they are, and I just gave the map. Even if they play on this map, it's fine, but I would prefer they play on the correct map. There they go. This is more open, so this is going to be intense. Slaanesh has super fast cavalry. Tzeentch has super fast cavalry. Lots of mobility. I think this is Tzeentch favored this matchup in general, but we will see. And here we are. Cool, cool. Changer's Madhouse is more thematic. It is. Because, you know, Hitman Hippo is like the incumbent here. He's the current, like, winner's bracket guy. And he's in his madhouse. And then Slaanesh is having to go into the realm of Tzeentch to, like, take him down, which is very cool. I like that. Is this... Bob, this is... Man, your maps are killing it, Bob. We got all your maps up in here, man. Oh. 2v2s are okay, Staunch. They tend to be a little bit laggy in Total War. That's why we don't do them too much. Because we don't have dedicated servers. You know. How does Slaanesh counter the Flying Flamers? Easy. They use Rampage. So if you Rampage Flamer of Tzeentch in the air, it will dive onto the ground. So you just Rampage it and then kill it with your cavalry or your whatever you have down there. Have you been tempted to do a weekly season tournament where players play for points every week for a big final at the end? That's basically what this is. So let me show you battle tutorial in case you haven't seen. Every tournament that's hosted that meets the requirements on Total Tavern is... So here it is, right here, right? And we have a lot of upcoming tournaments. There's a couple people who post them way far ahead. Like these tournaments are posted 3 weeks in advance, but you win and you get leaderboard points. So you get tournament wins and that dictates who's number one. And then at the end of a season, which is when an update comes out, we end the season. There's a huge finals, which I'm sure you've seen. And that has a big cash prize, usually like between $300 and $500, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, so we do that right now. Yeah, that's what's happening here. Like, this tournament counts towards the season finals. Yeah. Oh, I love your maps, Bob. They're great. Yeah. So, Outer Region is ready. The Changers Madhouse is here. This is a heavyweight fight. These are two guys who have been big champions in... I don't know if Outer Region has qualified for, like, every single season finals. I don't know if he's won one. I don't think he's won one yet. Hitman Hippo has won the major CA event. So he's won one major. Yeah. Yeah, we have majors, and this would be like a small tournament, but then we have majors. Major tournaments are considered the season finals and the CA official tournaments, which we host. Those are the majors. The CA tournament has the biggest prize pool. It's like $2,000, $2,500, usually like £2,000. So it's a lot. I also wonder why CA just can't hire people like Bob for a few months. Well, the thing is, the CA prioritizes campaign, right? So that's why they don't hire people for multiplayer. Like, they have a couple people who work multiplayer on the side, but campaign is obviously their focus, you know, which is fine. We have a really healthy multiplayer scene. We just, you know, need new updates and stuff. It's just like any RTS game, right? Like Age of Empires 4, you know, competitive dies down when they don't have updates for a long time, and then it comes back when it gets updated, and, you know, it's normal. It's normal. This is the grand final. This is the last game. Yeah, correct. A nice, sweet 3-hour stream. Would you be allowing? Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, people. We have a ton of other people who do YouTube and create content who host tournaments on Total Tavern. Yes, we do. You just got to just participate in a couple tournaments first, you know, just to get the hang of it, and then hit me up. And as long as you know you aren't shady, we can make it happen. That's basically it. Yeah, Bob, they should hire you, though, seriously. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the grand finals. We got Outer Region. Really, really similar playstyle today. He's got the double Cultists of Slaanesh to try and win the ground. Azazel is a good choice here. He's a small target, very elusive, hard to snipe, with good micro, that is. And he can rampage your flyers down, which I think is a great choice. We do have the Fiends of Slaanesh, couple Devoted Marauders, and look at the Vanguard from Hitman Hippo. Hitman Hippo doing a full Vanguard. Marauder Horseman of Tzeentch into the sunset. He's got 4 of them. Oh my god, the Changebringers. Now, somebody in chat wanted to see how this goes. How Slaanesh can handle this. Maybe they can't. Oh, I forgot. Knights of Immolation can also defend Changebringers. Oh yeah, so we have Knights of Immolation and Changebringers. And Kairos? So Kairos has Blue Fire and Glean Magic. So this is the one that steals magic from enemies. That's really interesting. I kind of like that. And he, of course, has his snare ability, which is really, really good. I'm very excited for this game. This is going to be very fun. So here they come. We got the Devoted Marauders heading up to the point, and immediately we are going to be seeing Hitman Hippo pulling back. Not quite getting the point, but he is going to get a double cap right out of the gates. You know, you don't want to mess with Slaanesh. Slaanesh can... If Hitman Hippo had stayed there, he would have rampaged one of these horsemen and gotten a free kill. It would have just been, you know, a one-shot KO there. So that was the smart play there. That is for sure. Yeah, the build for Slaanesh is pretty similar. We've seen some slight variants in their builds, but for the most part, it seems like he's found a playstyle he really likes. And now there's going to be... Oh, Glean Magic! So this is stealing reserves for 42 seconds. So what is it? How much wins magic is that going to steal in total? It's 0.12, so it's kind of hard to calculate. And look at that. And Void Pendulum. He's stealing the magic from Slaanesh. I love that. And it lowers his recharge rate as well. Oh, what a... I've never seen this done before. I've never seen this done. And yeah, the magic is being drained. Tzeentch really showing that they are the kings of magic. Slaanesh does have some witchcraft, but overall, Azazel is able to dodge that. The Exalted Demonette's going to be moving up. A couple horsemen here are going to be poking, but probably can just use a couple of these guys to screen right here and keep them at bay. And now Slaanesh does move up and gets their grips on the objective. But we've been seeing Hitman Hippo playing a very cagey playstyle here today, where he likes to sit back and poke and accrue value before alpha striking. And I think we're going to be seeing something similar again, right? A lot of Furies coming out. I think Outer Region needs to not get too hungry to dive. I think he needs to just be cautious. Is he going to take the fight versus these Knights of Immolation and rampage them? Because he could. I mean, he has the Furies. He takes the fight. Ooh, I don't know if I like this. And his Furies engage here, but okay, friendly fire coming in from the Changebringer is going to be cooking some of their own units. But overall, I think this is a mistake by Outer Region. I think he's just pulling the trigger a little bit too quickly. And there is going to be some witchcraft going down to the ground. Okay, so he uses Gaze of Fate and then uses the Vortex. So he locks down the Exalted Demonettes and uses the Vortex of Tzeentch to melt them. That's an MLG play. That was a big misplay by Outer Region. There was no sense in taking that. In the backfield, we do see the Fiends diving, but they're being roasted by the Fiends of Slaanesh. Or excuse me, the Changebringers are roasting the Fiends of Slaanesh, which are also being kited in a couple different directions. I really disagree with that engagement. I don't know, though. We'll see how it ends up paying off here. He does Rampage down the Knights of Immolation. That is a good play right there, because now the Knights of Immolation are going to get munched by these Fiends. In the backside, we do see these ones back here getting cooked up pretty good, though. They're already down to about 40% HP and being mulched, and now we do see another Fury coming in. So Outer Region is kind of grinding some value back, and remember, Outer Region is maybe going to be stealing this objective, which is going to be a big problem, because Tzeentch, a lot of their build is kind of like Air Force cheese and that kind of stuff. They might not have the ability to contest the objectives on the ground. If Outer Region gets his objective, that is a big, big win for him. That is a triple cap, and Tzeentch is really going to be on the clock. And suddenly we see Outer Region in a decent position. I'm really liking this. All right. So he came back by rampaging those Knights of Immolation a little bit, and now he does have the triple cap. A little bit of Horseman harass going down here, but overall the Devoted Marauders don't care too much. More Devoted Marauders are on their way out. And it looks like Tzeentch is able to cackle back here. Are they going to be using Glean Magic once again on Azazel and trying to drain him down? It looks like that's going to be the case. And Glean Magic, power recharge does it give him? And it steals, yeah, it steals reserves too. I love that. The dreaded Tzeentch Magic. Oh, that's so fun. I'm having a great time seeing that. But Outer Region looks like he's in a good spot. He's only down by about 900 value. He does have the triple cap. And the points are going to add up really, really quickly here. There is going to be another Blue Fire going down, but Outer Region is going to be juking it. And these two top-tier players going to continue fighting it out. Chosen of Tzeentch with halberds. Oh, God. One can only be so erect. So here comes the Chosen of Tzeentch. They've got their glimmering armor, and they're going to be heading up towards the point to try and contest that. A lot of Marauder Horsemen nearby. We do have some Blue Horrors as well. Changebringers are nearby. They're going to be very useful for cooking these Fiends if they can get in position here. I don't know what the magic situation is looking like, but Azazel probably is running low on magic. I would imagine Outer Region is hurting a little bit in that regard. Tzeentch army ability going to go down. Trying to snipe Azazel. Is he going to be able to dodge it? Outer Region will do some speedy, tricksy Hobbits movement, I'm sure. And now the objective here. Oh, he dodges it. Nice play there. Very, very good Slaanesh slippery movement. This point now is going to be taken by the Changer. So the Chosen and the Blues able to force back the Heretics of Slaanesh. The Dark Prince is going to have to restructure their formations, that is for sure. Changebringers of Hitman Hippo retreating away from Objective 2. Staying away from Azazel. So this is the kind of awareness you need to have against the Rampage. Like, you see him coming, immediately you start running. Because if he Rampages those Changebringers, that's 1,400 value in the books. Like, that's so good and tasty, right? Throwing Axes shooting in. Other Blue Fire going. Is it going to be going into Azazel? And man, Outer Region with the Matrix dodges. He's able to get away from that. You can see the Void Pendulum is also draining down his reserve. So probably very little magic going to be on the table for Slaanesh in the late game here. We got a Fury fight. I don't know which one actually wins. Probably the Furies of... Well, they both do magic damage. Maybe the Chaos Furies of Tzeentch win because they have the extra shield HP. I don't know. It's hard to say. It looks very dead even. They might just be a bit of a wash. It's a big fight here for Slaanesh. Slaanesh is trying to pin in and steal the objective again, which I don't hate that idea. Outer Region going to be sacrificing a little bit of value here to get the point back. We'll see if he can. He does have the 2 Devoted Marauders up on the point. And he's got his Fiends piling in, but a lot of Tzeentchian shooting is going to be melting in. Oh, but that also hits the Chosen a little bit, maybe. The Chosen Halberds, though, absolute Giga Chads here. They're going to be grinding through all those. Are Chaos Warriors, and here we have the Chosen. So the Chosen are going to dominate these Marauders, no problemo. Glean Magic and Arcane Surge is activated, so Tzeentch is getting a ton of magic. In the backfield, we see Azazel hunting. Azazel gets snared by the Gaze of Fate. Oh, no, Azazel, he gets cooked. He's taken a lot of damage here, and now there's going to be all these Marauder Horsemen shooting him. He could land on the ground, but I don't think that's going to save him. He rampages the Changebringers to save himself, and now is able to get the Chaos Furies in to help him out. So, though Outer Region did get Karate Chop there a little bit, he responds with the Karate Chop of his own, and is able to rampage the Changebringers, immediately getting 1,400 value there, which is very cost-effective, but Azazel needs to watch out. As far as this objective goes, the 2 Cultists are grinding. Chosen are fighting hard here. But this is looking like Outer Region might be able to have some serious objective play here. He's down in value about 1,500, 1,600 right now, which is certainly hurting. Tzeentch getting a beautiful little vortex here, cooking these Devoted Marauders. And it looks like he stabilizes the objective, which is super clutch. If that objective had been lost, that would have given Outer Region a pretty colossal chance of winning this game. Now back here, we do see the Cav coming in. It's going to be Hellstriders to Slaanesh duking it out with Horsemen. Hellstriders, of course, will win that fight. They are anti-large and are a little bit more duelist. Azazel in the backfield, though, he's able to kill the Shrieking Skyrays with his Furies, too. Man, Azazel is doing some great work. I mean, his value isn't crazy or anything, but yeah, those are decent little trades. Another blue fire coming in. Oh, is he going to dodge it? Outer Region gets hit with some of them, but not much. His micro, very good. This is top-tier play. These guys are both easily top 5 in the world players. They're both very good. Shot coming down there. Azazel does get nailed by the Tzeentch army ability. A little bit hard to dodge that one. And it looks like the Demonettes as well as the Cultists are trying to steal that point. Looking at the objective, Tzeentch is going to be moving its Chosen across. I think that Hitman Hippo knows he needs to get on the points here. It's getting a little bit dangerous. He needs to try and get it before it becomes a triple cap situation, which it's going to be pretty soon. And a Rampage going down, so it looks like Azazel still had some magic. He does Rampage those Marauder Horsemen and is able to pick them apart. We get blues coming in. We also get some basic Chaos Warriors to try and fight these Cultists. And Azazel maybe going to get sniped here. The blue fire coming in. It's harder to dodge on the ground, and he does get cooked. His leadership is going to be negative, and, ooh, man, is he hanging in there? He just barely is. Man, what a precarious situation for Azazel. So he's wavering. He's at 3 leadership. He's got 600 HP. Does he have any more magic left to get any rampages? We will find out. He dives into combat, probably knowing that he's going to be dying here soon. And how is Slaanesh going to be dealing with Chosen? The best bet to deal with Chosen Halberds is probably Exalted Demonettes. I think that would be your best bet. Azazel is going to be fleeing, and the big chicken is going for the snipe. Is he going to get it? Tzeentch cackling. Oh, he matrixed that shit. Look at that, but it still hits him partially. He only got hit by like 1 or 2 of the beams, but it's enough to probably get him disintegrating. So Azazel is going to be crumbling as Kairos showing that he is the demonic overlord here. That is for sure. Back here, however, we do see the Demonettes and the Cultists causing quite a bit of disruption. The objective still in the hands of Tzeentch, and we are most certainly in a Helm's Deep situation now. It's where Slaanesh is going to be able to win on just one objective, but it's not time to fall back to that back objective yet. You still want to be contesting the field, I would say, but Azazel does end up going down. Value is very close, 7.8 against 8.4, so Slaanesh is trading very well on the ground. Their Cultists and their Demonette summons doing great work, and if this objective flips, Tzeentch could actually be in big danger of losing this game. Couple Chosen moving in. Kairos is going to be coming to help out. The Chosen will be able to kill these Devoted Marauders pretty easily. They are the elite of the elite, fighting against absolute, low-tier troopers. Devoted Marauders being called in. Kairos is helping, and will they get this objective? It is in flux. It looks like maybe Slaanesh is going to find their way to get this point. They do have some Devoted Marauders here, but there's a healthy Chaos Warrior unit, but Furies of Slaanesh are really good at killing armor, so you could pull them around and help for sure. But now the heavy hitters are coming out for Hitman Hippo. This is where it's going to really start to become precarious for Outer Region. We see the old Centaurs, right? So Centaurs of Tzeentch are going to be probably able to brutalize this position. They're going to come in and melt a lot of these units. The Cultists will be okay against them. Ooh, Fascination going down. So that is going to rampage them. So they get fascinated. Oh, Narcissism. Okay. So the Centaurs are a little bit too busy looking at the 6-pack abs, and now they're going to get attacked by the Furies? I'm not sure. Cultists may be flipping this point, though. The middle point is, like I said, in danger, but we do get Exalted Demonettes. That is the correct answer. But Tzeentch is able to get there, and Tzeentch should win this fight because Chosen of Tzeentch actually do magic damage, so they're really good against demons. And there's a blue horror unit here, too, so that's going to be very dodgy. This point does get flipped, however. Outer Region closing in on 1,200 points, guys. Very close to winning in that regard. Furies here do get a very good engagement against the Narcissism Centaurs who got blocked up. We got some Devoted Marauders hanging out in that point. And now if you're out of region, it's Helm's Deep time. It's like hunker down on that back objective, I think. I don't think you're going to win this one. Although he does manage to slip the Exalted Demonettes around the Chosen. He outmaneuvers and does get on top of the Blues, which is a really good play. Using the remnants of the Hellstriders as well to try and get her done right there. On the back point, it is owned by Slaanesh. Tzeentch desperately trying to get these objectives back. We do get the Marauder Horsemen coming in. Centaurs charging, but those Cultists are very difficult to uproot. A couple Chaos Warriors are moving in, and here we see the outstanding Demonettes of Slaanesh just doing work. And this is their natural habitat. Oh, I love how there's like a Tzeentch Vortex on the objective too. I think that's really cool. The elite of the elite battling it out. We do see the Chosen getting some decent kills on these scary demon ladies, but the Devoted Marauders are going to turn the tide of the fight. The flank is going to be really good. Probably will lead the Demonettes to winning that particular fight. And it looks like Outer Region might be able to weasel this one out with the really clean objective play and good ground presence. But Hitman Hippo does not have his back objective yet. He needs to get that one and also needs to find a way to hold the middle. It's not going to be easy. The whole game is on the back of these Chosen. That's for sure. Fiends are coming in. Fiends are going to be nasty DPS. couple Marauder Horsemen coming across to try and help. But I think Outer Region's got this one. It just seems like Hippo is not able to contest the ground very well. The Centaurs, of course, are doing their best. He's starting to flip this objective. He has the middle, but the Exalted Demonettes are just doing nasty work. He rear charges into the Demonettes, getting a flank charge in melee, figuring the DPS will be a little bit quicker. But now we got Fiends coming in, and that is going to be gross. 58 models left on the Chosen. What is Tzeentch going to be calling in? The back objective is close to flipping. We do see the Cultists fighting tooth and nail here. And I think Kairos is going to be going over to the middle objective to try and stabilize that. He probably has a Vortex ability left. If he can get a big Vortex and stabilize this, that's going to be big. But the Demonettes, just no bell whatsoever. Ever since those elite demons got those buffs, it's been pretty big. There's going to be a blue fire going down to the Fiends. A really, really nice cast right there. A couple Horsemen coming back in. But the points are rapidly approaching for the Prince of Darkness. Outer Region, he definitely took it personally being sent to the losers bracket. Now he's here for blood. So big Vortex going down there. It is a bit of a swing and a miss. If it had hit the demons, that would have been good. We do see multiple units of Horsemen coming in. This objective is going to be going to the forces of Tzeentch. And the middle objective will go to Tzeentch as well. But the question is there enough time for that? The Fiends here are getting crumbled. Demons here are getting crumbled as well. He does have some Horsemen starting to contest the back objective. But he's getting 2 victory tickets per second. It's too much right now. Very brutal stuff. So the Fiends of Slaanesh are crumbling. Looks like Outer Region is going to get it. Man, what a scrappy-ass game by both players. Like, all those, like, micro plays with the Azazel, like, dodging those blue fires, that bought him time, right? If that happens earlier, he loses this game. Outer Region certainly microed like a heathen king of old. He did great. And him and Hippo did super great, too. It was a super close game. And that is going to be it. GG, well played. Congrats to Outer Region for winning today's tournament. Very, very well played to both of these mighty champions. Looking forward to seeing them playing in some major tournaments coming up in the future. And man, oh man, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the tournament. If you enjoyed it, do drop a like on the way out. It means a lot, helps keep the channel alive. And that is going to be it for today. Congrats to Outer Region. The Dark Prince is cackling. He had such wonderful sights to show us, and he showed us. That is for sure. Azazel looking extra evil over there. Cultists were the MVPs there. Their grind on that objective was pretty big. Rampaging and killing off the Changebringers as well as the Doom Knights was very good too. All right. Take care of yourselves. See you guys around. That is going to be it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. GG, well played. Great games. And Outer Region is going to be maintaining a solid position on the leaderboard. And yeah, not much more to say. Tomorrow we got some more good action. It's going to be some Age of Mythology or Warcraft 3 tournament. I'm not sure. I'm going to decide in the next few hours. And we'll figure it out from there. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. That's it. Dovi Zenya. Adios. See you around. And I'm going to go chat with my smoking hot wife. And we will see you all on the other side.